All right. Evan,
Nathan.
episode number 146 of My Cup of Tea.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
We've been doing this for far too long. I think I'm out at 150.
Oh, no. It'd just be me.
Yeah, just be Nathan every Wednesday night, just being like, "Hey guys, so what up? Sup?"
I set up the mirror to talk to myself.
That'd be amazing. Remember Succession episode 1? He just walks in. So, sup?
God.
Man, I missed that show. What a brilliant show. But yeah, we have a packed episode tonight talking about the latest episode of Invincible season 3, which is continuing to just be so good. What a great season. And then we got Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. 1 week since the end of Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. And what a great show. So let's start off with that, talking about the two shows so we don't lose track of them. And then we got Avatar. I got a rant coming, guys. Avatar, new Avatar series. Avatar: The Last Airbender, one of my favorite shows of all time. Probably my favorite show of all time. Is it my favorite show of all time? It's like top 3. If I don't include anime, I got to take anime out of that. Just like Western wise, Avatar, The Americans, Succession, Better Call Saul. Like those are my shit. Those are my shit. So,
I cannot Lucifer, but
Oh, Giad.
Evan, you're missing out. I'm telling you, every time.
Here we go again.
One of the best episodes has a current Oscar nominee this year.
Wow, that's who's that? Mikey Madison? Mikey Madison, Lucifer, why didn't you tell me?
Why didn't I tell you? No, there's a great episode of Lucifer that features Coleman Domingo, and he's great in it.
Oh wow. Okay. Now that is kind of a sell. You're selling me there. I like that. Not sells in a bad word, but like sells in helping me out. Cause I always say like you guys are selling me. You're selling me. You're really. What are you doing?
I'm pretty sure it's season 1 as well. So
really trying to sell me there. Okay. But yeah, so we got Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Invincible, Avatar, the DC. James Gunn finally unleashing more news about the DC slate as people have been more critical of his past slate and the lack of initiative, not lack of initiative, but just lack of like certainty with the projects. But he's feeling very much like how Kevin Feige felt, where people are like, is this show still happening? Is this movie still happening? James Gunn, what's happening? So he invited a lot of the people, a lot of, I think it was fans and press, or might just be just press, to the WB lot on Monday and unveiled a lot of new information about the slate of DC. And then we have the Oscars coming out this Sunday. So I want to do a couple of last minute above the line projections. We don't have to go through every single thing. That'd be too long, but but yeah, let's start off with Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. What up, Nathan? This show, it's so good. I was shocked, and I love having this podcast where we can just go batch by batch, and like we were able to like really break down how much we appreciated this show from the beginning. Like literally, the start of the new year, I wasn't even thinking of Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I was like, oh yeah, that's a show coming out at the end of January. Like I was watching What If, and I'm like, man, Marvel Animation, like without X-Men 97, I don't know what we're doing here.
I just finished binging What If season 3 finally.
Oh wow, what'd you think, by the way?
It's decent. It's consistent.
Yeah, it was okay for me. I was like, it's What If, all right. It's not like there was no compelling What If story there. It was like,
some compelling ideas. I think you said this is your favorite as well. The Kate
yeah, easily. Yeah,
that's a good one. I never had a bad time with any of them.
Yeah, they're not bad. They're just like okay, like kind of forgettable, but not bad.
I wasn't expecting Natasha Lyonne in the finale. That was nice.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that coming either.
Yeah, but the episode just kind of ends. The show just kind of ends. It just stops.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted it to be more. Again, I think season 1 had some great like what if, like actually using the premise of what if to its fullest. Season 3 felt to me just like, okay, there's some
I
random ideas. I couldn't get a sense of like the what if of it all.
I took notice that a lot of the episodes had elements of future projects that are coming out to kind of like make the audience aware of certain things, like White Vision, Riri Williams, some Eternal stuff, and like a couple other things. Well, I mean, the fact that like they had a Sam as Cap leading Avengers stuff before his movie came out, like all these different things, like projects that are about to pop in. Red Guardian, we got Thunderbolt stuff coming up. Bucky,
That's
that
a
was
good
a fun
point.
one too.
I did mention how I liked that one, kind of like a random buddy cop kind of thing going on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, but Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is one that really surprised me. I think the show got better and better and better as the season went on, and the final 2 episodes really elevated my enjoyment of the show in ways that were very surprising but felt very earned. And this is just the epitome of a great Spider-Man story where it gets very personal. We get a lot of great perspectives from the other characters, and it's very comic booky. It's everything I really want from the live action universe for Spider-Man, but they're just not able to do because, live action restrictions, 2 hours, etc., and some, not great story decisions on that front. But like, I really think what's his name? Jeff Trollman, the creator of the show, showrunner of the show, did a great job cementing this as a very special Spider-Man story, and I can't wait to see it progress in season 2, and we know we're getting season 3 as well. Season 2 is coming out next year. The creator Jeff said he wants to do it every year. I think he said that today. He wants Spider-Man season 1 this year, season 2 in 2026, and hopefully season 3 in 2027. I could see this being, given that the animation isn't that great, like I could see this going, not taking that long on the animation process. That's why a lot of animated shows take like more than a year to come out, especially nowadays with the different TV structures in our environment today. Like it usually takes about every other year for a normal show. Even X-Men 97, which isn't like phenomenal animation wise, is coming out next year as well. It had to take a year break.
Pretty good though. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. I like it as well. But also I think X-Men 97 had that turmoil with the showrunner and the writers, so it was a little bit of a hiccup compared to the streamlined nature of a Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. But yeah, overall thoughts. What were your overall thoughts before we dive in here for the finale?
It was wonderful. I really was kind of expecting it to just be okay at best, and that's not like based off of anything for the specific show. It's just the last couple of Spider-Man cartoons are, fine.
Not great. The Ultimate Spider-Man I never watched. I never watched Ultimate Spider-Man.
It varied. I was a fan when I was younger, but I think that ran for 5 seasons, and it was mixed. The recent Spider-Man one was kind of it was odd. The animation itself was definitely a step down from other ones. I think
I keep seeing that's the one I see on the TL where like there's like Spider-Gwen and Miles Morales. Is that the show that you're talking about?
Yeah, it is. And it's the same voice. It's funny. The same voice actor for Miles as the Insomniac game. So every time I'm like, oh shit.
That's weird. Yeah, I never heard of that show. When did that come out and where?
2017. Disney XD, I guess, maybe.
Okay, yeah. I never heard of that show. I was seeing on the TL, like, what is this show? Spider-Gwen's here? What? Like,
yeah. But yeah, that's that. By somehow, Evan, I still haven't sat down to watch Spectacular Spider-Man, and I really need to. I really want to.
Is that on Disney Plus?
No,
it's not. Yeah.
No, I think it might have. I think like it was for a second on like it's just season 1, but then it wasn't. It used to be on Netflix, but then it was like you can only get it like through. You can buy it, you can own it. It's not wiped, so you can access. I'm sure I could find ways to watch it. I just need to go do that. But love Spider-Man. I'm a big fan of the '90s show as well, and the character in general, obviously. So going into this one, I was just like, okay, we'll see how it is. I did kind of forget about it being like MCU adjacent in its plot, because it kind of is what if, in a sense. The Watcher's here at the end of the season.
Yeah.
But all in all, it was a fantastic show. The development we talked about with the different, like, not just Peter himself, but like all of the side characters are very interesting. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why are they all good?
That's how you make a great Spider-Man show. A great superhero show in general is elevating the supporting cast. The reason we like Daredevil, for instance, coming out next week, was like Matt is a great character, but he wouldn't be Matt without his connection to Foggy, his connection to Karen. Fisk is a great character. Like Punisher, Elektra, like the supporting cast in Daredevil is really stacked and really well developed. And I think that's the case for Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man as well. And starting with episode 9 here, Nathan, I don't know about you, but I was shocked where episode 9 starts off with Scorpion versus Spider-Man. Like not immediately, but like I was shocked how we're getting that fight so early. And I'm like, wait a minute. If this is the penultimate episode, what's the finale?
Yeah,
really
it felt like
it
was finale stuff with a lot of the elements of the episode. So I was like, oh wow. But it was a great fight. It was really cool seeing the Spider-Man suit officially come in. It was how they revealed it, where Nico's about to get crushed and like she shields herself with a pendant, and for like one frame you see the reflection of Spider-Man come in before it cuts.
That was really cool. It's just funny leading up to this fight, man. You know, last week we talked about like what's up with Lonnie. Like there's two choices. We talked about it ever since at the end of episode 6 or 5, whatever the first batch of episodes were. We were like, wow, Lonnie's going through a rough patch. He's either going to get saved by Spider-Man and turn a new leaf, or he's going to go down the dark tombstone route. And after I think last week we were like, okay, this isn't looking great for Lonnie. Like he's going worse and worse and worse. He's neglecting Pearl. He's neglecting Peter. He's like hoorahing with the gang, the 110th crew. And I'm like, oh, this isn't looking good. So I was already leaning towards like we're getting some tragic stuff in this finale, and we did. But it's also very like uplifting as well. Like it was very interesting with Lonnie.
They tricked me. They pulled my heart in different directions with this one, because you know he goes to like look for some weapons in the truck, and then he breaks the canister and he starts coughing. And I'm like, oh no, here we go. It's over. I'm so bummed. But then he walks out. He wakes up. He's fine. He's got enhanced strength. And next thing you know, he's helping Spider-Man fight.
Yeah. Like
I'm sitting here and I'm like, hey, do I get the good ending? Is Lonnie here? Can we just go this way?
But no, as soon as I realized, I think we talked about this early on in our reviews too, Nathan. We're like, oh, this big Donovan guy, he's gonna be like. I went as far as to say he's gonna bend the knee to Lonnie by the end of the season or eventually. I think that's definitely going to be the case in season 2 now. But
if he comes back at all,
if he comes back at all, seeing him hightail it and run, I'm like, oh, okay, this guy. We're definitely getting the Lonnie taking over now, because like as soon as Big D left, I'm like, oh, so Lonnie's gonna take over now. Like, they need like a leader and everything.
Yeah, even if he tries to come back, Lonnie can easily call him out for abandoning the whole crew to die.
Exactly.
Scorpion.
Yeah. So it's at the beginning when Lonnie is in the car, he's like, Big D's like, we're gonna raid that cop car and everything. And Lonnie's like, should we do this? Like, I'm like, Lonnie, you don't be like, oh, what are we gonna do now? Like, I don't know if we should do this. Like, you went ahead on, like, you got to support your gang last episode, so don't back out now, Lonnie. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah. You knew what this was.
But yeah, I'm like you. When Lonnie got out of that car. Right? And I'm like you. Like, when I saw Lonnie get out of that car and he was fine and he was like supporting Peter, helping him, I'm like, okay, this is cool. Like, we could be getting some good shit here with Lonnie. So I was very pleased to have them like make it a bit more like natural in terms of his development. Like, he's not going to be full on like gangster Tombstone. He was still Lonnie. He was still helping out Spider-Man, and they had some great duo stuff. And then down the line, we got the Tombstone that we're going to get in season 2. Yeah. So I thought it was a very, very well done character journey for Lonnie this season.
Totally, I completely agree. I was also really like the payoff of Peter hearing Norman's words of the great power, great respect, and him going almost too far. Like, he almost killed Scorpion. He had that No Way Home moment. And Lonnie stopped him.
Yeah,
It's good stuff.
that was really cool. I forgot that was a No Way Home parallel until I saw it on Twitter, where they're like, "Oh, that's what he did to like what Green Goblin or something like that."
Yeah, I picked up his glider.
Yeah, I should have known you would know. You saw it like 20 times in theaters.
10.
Give or
I'm
take.
honest. I will never. I don't think I'll ever break that record again.
10 is insane, Nathan.
It is insane. Unless by some grace of God, it's that Secret Wars truly actually makes them all. It won't.
That's crazy that you won't do like Secret Wars. Seems like something you would. I wouldn't bat an eye for somebody saying they went to go see Secret Wars 10 times. No Way Home.
Well, in fairness, I did see Endgame collectively, I think 8 times.
Okay, yeah. We'll see. We'll see. We know the Russos are gonna make this shit like 3 hours long. It'll make like what your favorite 250 million. So
yeah, at least I dare them to do brutalist size runtime 335
with the Avengers intermission.
Yes, they look at a picture on the wall and they reminisce.
Yeah.
It's like 15 minutes.
Man, that'd be amazing. But yeah, like I think the action is also very well done with Peter versus the Scorpion. Some cool action. Scorpion's just a really interesting villain. We mentioned it last week when he was like crashing out at the initial fight. Aranya. But he was just a really not super compelling, but just really like ominous, evil, just a crazy dude. I think it just really worked for Scorpion. I think it was really cool. Like he really got Peter feeling that sense of fear and dread for the first time.
Oh, absolutely. Let this once again be a sad reminder that we could have had this with Michael Mando, and we don't.
Yeah, that's so depressing. It's like Michael Mando would have been in it for the long haul. I think he would have been really great. But then now
there's current rumors. There's current rumors about Spider-Man 4 right now that there may feature a villain named Big Wheel in the film, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, motherfucker, give me Scorpion, please. I'm getting Big Wheel before. So like, I think like a good example that I know you probably know is in the 90s series for sure they did adapt that with like the Rocket Racer story arc, and there was a character who was like falling into a gang and he was joining the Rocket Racers, and then they were like doing big tech, and one of their big tech was like this giant wheel that could traverse up buildings and shit.
I think I do remember that. I think I do remember that. So I think we're good. I think I remember that. Okay, but how can that be a compelling villain? It's just a weird, goofy thing.
I don't know where Spidey's going to be left in between these two Avengers flicks either. I certainly, you saw that tweet I was calling. I was like, this can't be legit at all.
Oh yeah. That one guy, a random guy on Twitter. I'm like, it's not happening.
It will go back to street level, even though he's going to be very prominent in Doomsday, which is definitely not going to be wrapped before Secret Wars. So what do you mean he's just going to go back to life?
It's weird. And it could be like, again, I mentioned the possibility that Spider-Man 4 could be like Ant-Man and the Wasp, where it's like a prequel-esque.
But he is supposed to be in Doomsday quite a bit. I think I did hear a rumor that I totally would believe is that he's going to be mostly masked up and like it's going to be like a Pedro Mando. Stuff.
No.
Not the whole time. Like he'll film some stuff, but because he's going to be filming the Odyssey at like around the same time Doomsday is, like they'll do that, which like that's passable. You can have a mask, do Spider-Man stuff, and you can ADR. But then he will have scenes unmasked from time to time.
Okay, yeah, that works. Yeah, Tom Holland and Zendaya have a big summer ahead. Zendaya doing Euphoria right now, a little bit in the Odyssey, Spider-Man 4 a little bit. I think she's only in the Odyssey a little bit and only in Spider-Man 4 a little bit. So we'll see that. But then she's going to be in Dune Part 3, Dune Messiah this summer as well. So that's a lot of what?
Oh, like filming this summer?
I think so. I think that was on my show notes as well. I think they said Denis is looking to film this summer and fall for a December release date next year.
All right.
And if Dune Messiah can get a December release date next year, the Oscars There's no arguments. Give this guy a director nomination for once next year, hopefully.
Gotta, right? Like, pull that Return of the King. Let him have it.
Please, like, even though it's hard for me to believe that anything can be better than Dune Part 2, but let Denis cook. I trust them.
Hey man, you're sitting here, Nora Best Picture.
Yeah, right. I hope that's the case. I hope so. But yeah, so like again, I think that kind of wraps up the whole Lonnie thing. I just think seeing Lonnie and Spider-Man like team up, which is such a really fun, surprising dynamic. I thought that was really cool. Given like I thought Lonnie and Peter were going in diverging directions, having them both body like together only to inevitably get that disconnect in the next season, that's going to be very, very fun to watch.
That's going to be really like heartbreaking when they have to go head to head.
Yeah. Oh man. But also we skipped over how in the beginning we have like the Otto and Osborn prison thing. Osborn basically just gloating, like, I got you, I win.
I stole all your stuff and I didn't have to pay a cent. Very rich man.
Yeah, very rich man, asshole stuff going on there. But it's like it's two a-holes like being a-holes to each other. Because like it sounds like I'm rooting for Osborn, so I don't really care.
Although I would say like comparatively, you'd probably be more on Otto's side in the whole situation because Norman's just kind of like punching down on this guy who has not much of anything.
Yeah, it's like he can't even defend himself. He's just in prison. You're just like, I got you. Like, you really came here to say that? Can I just leave? Bye. Like,
yeah, because it really does feel like in a lot of like the sense that Norman's more so just a businessman. Like, yeah, he's a smart guy, but he has his team of scientists developing stuff. He's not really like in the field doing it himself, right? Otto is very hands-on, making all the tech himself. And he's, when he calls him out as much, telling Norman that he just, reaps off of everybody else's intelligence. It's not wrong.
That's a great point, Nathan. That's why we give you the big bucks, man. That's a really great example of Norman's not flaw, but just big evil character trait. Like he's a smart character, but he does latch on to other people. He latches on to Otto and then throws him away. He latches on to Peter, but then he was like, Peter, like if you can't like get to my level, if you can't get that respect, then I don't think I don't think we could work together, Peter. Luckily, Peter is a very nice person and they have the connection, so he's not totally like removing Peter from the occasion. But we know Norman by the end of this episode 9, he has secret stuff that he's working on outside of Peter. So it's very interesting. Norman is just using a lot of the connections and the intelligence that he has gained over the years, and he's using that to his advantage. But also, I like the sweet Nico stuff. The Nico stuff is resolved finally in this episode. After the fight, you get the upside down Peter shot. She just punches him in the face. Very funny. No kiss there. No big romance this season.
I don't think they're a romantic thing, and I think that is refreshing in a sense. Like I love romance, but sometimes there are platonic friendships, and that's good to highlight as well.
I think this is definitely going to be a platonic one for sure now. Yeah, because I was getting vibes. I was getting vibes from. What were we saying?
Full steam ahead to Harry or Pearl.
Harry or Pearl?
Yeah, Nico likes Pearl too.
Oh, I thought you meant Peter. I was like, wait, what?
Okay.
Peter and Harry? That'd be interesting.
I'm sure it's on AO3.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's probably like a top 50.
That's going to be a top 3 in the Spider-Man lexicon for sure.
Oh, easily. Definitely. It's like MJ and Peter, Gwen and Peter and Harry. I could see that happening. But yeah, I think it was just so sweet for her to accept his apology, understand what he was going through, and they just really like meshed together again. It was very sweet and natural. I love their friendship together so much. And yeah, I thought it was going to get romantic early on because the way she was like feeling about him during that date, that wasn't a date when Harry came. I'm like, was she just wanting it to be with Peter? But after watching that Harry episode again, I'm just like, oh, I think she was just upset that like she doesn't get to spend time with her friend rather than have a romantic interest in Peter.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, Spider-Man, I do love good romance in my Spider-Man stories. Whether it's Peter and Gwen. I'm a bigger Gwen fan than I am of MJ, but I love Mary Jane as well. So maybe MJ can come along, and that'll be the big thing, of course.
We have a confirmation that Gwen is coming next season.
We do. Let's talk about that right now before we dive into episode 10 here. We know that Gwen is coming, and I'm of two worlds of this, Nathan. I was ecstatic when I saw that Gwen Stacy is coming. Gwen Stacy, one of my all-time favorite Spider-Man characters in general. Love Gwen Stacy. I also love Spider-Gwen. And we're getting Spider-Gwen as well.
I saw a collective on the internet that was Gwen's here. Oh! And Spider-Gwen, and then the jaws hit the floor in a not the best way.
And I love Spider-Gwen. Spider-Gwen's like, I'm the biggest Spider-Gwen fan. Like, top 5 Marvel characters in general. Spider-Gwen's in there. I love her comic to death. I love Spider-Gwen to death. And the movies elevated her even more so. But I'm just thinking in the context of this show. I think having just watched where season 1 ended with all those threads that we'll get into, I'm like, oh, Gwen Stacy can be a perfect collusion, a perfect character to add to this mix. But then getting Spider-Gwen changes the story up in ways I didn't really expect already in season 2.
Yeah,
it's different.
Yeah, I'm usually of a mind that like if I have a fresh, baseline Peter Parker, I don't want to rush in another Spider Person too soon. I want Peter to build quite a bit of experience, so then when another Spider Person comes in, the points of view are flipped on their head and stuff like that, and the different perspectives of the experience. Peter is still very fresh with everything. I imagine by the time Gwen comes in, he's probably still going to be no more than like a year max as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So,
Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. That being said, I did hear an idea that does intrigue me quite a bit.
Oh, go ahead.
There is theory because in the promo image of the Spider-Gwen suit, she has like this sphere that she's tossing up that some theorize could be like maybe like a web bomb or some type of tech. But
let me look at
the bomb, I'm putting in quotations, does kind of resemble that of a pumpkin bomb that you would see Norman use. So there's a theory that Peter may leave the program with Norman, and Gwen might end up taking his place as Norman's protege, and that's an interesting twist for sure.
Do you not think this is like a multiverse version of like coming into our world?
I don't think so. I think the
really
look is also fairly consistent. It's a very like a look that fits the universe of the style while also being like not like a full blown like Peter's final suit in this season. It does feel like an early like put together amalgamation of like clothing and like even like her lenses are like goggles and stuff.
And yeah, I'm looking at her design. Let's pull it up for the audience if I can do that.
Yeah,
I have it on my bookmark somewhere. That's interesting, man. I didn't even think to look at. I automatically was like, oh, like because we have Doctor Strange, because we have the whole time thing in the finale, she's just coming from a different world. We literally get that in the first frame of this season. She's coming from a different world. Or we see Venom at least. I mean, coming from a different world. Or I guess now we know he's just coming from space.
Yeah.
But so it was more so space, not space and time.
Right.
But anyways, finally sharing the screen here. Here we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is Spider-Gwen. I didn't even take a look at that Pokeball that she has. So yeah, you think like she's working for Norman?
I think it could totally be something like that. Maybe I get it. That's like the thought online, and because like thematically that would be really cool if like after Peter's experience with Norman, if it's like him being more concerned with pushing himself to his strength and level, and Peter not wanting to like lose his core morality, stepping away, but Norman wanting to continue the promise of Spider-Man and for his functionality, giving it to somebody else. Not granted, I don't know if that would mean he's picking up anybody and giving the suit spider abilities, or if Gwen genuinely does have spider abilities. I don't know what the situation would be. Well, also no,
She
sorry,
has that
they
spider
are
ability.
Oscorp is already manufacturing the spiders that can give the powers because they've injected them with Peter's blood, which comes full circle in the finale.
Well, I think the finale answers the fact that it all gets destroyed. It's all. There's nothing to salvage there.
Well, the machine does, not necessarily like their research elements.
I got the sense that we won't be seeing that storyline continue anymore after the finale. I got the sense that like the spider research is gone and the Venom stuff is what we're going to be leaning into.
I don't know. Granted, it could also be a thing. Well, we'll talk about the whole looping in a second.
But yeah, moving on to episode 10 in a minute here. But yeah, I'm very cautiously optimistic. I'm always going to be optimistic when I see Gwen. I think she'll be a cool like romantic interest again there. But if not, great friend to Peter, great ally to Peter. It reminds me of getting Supergirl in My Adventures with Superman season 2. I think Supergirl was a very fun, cool mix. I really liked what they did with her and what's the guy's name? Jimmy. Her and Jimmy had a surprising dynamic that I didn't expect. And I think Supergirl was just I love Kara. And I think Gwen, even if she's Spider-Gwen, can surprise me. I'm just like not as excited as I thought I should be when I hear the word Spider-Gwen in anything. I'm usually just like, yes, cool, whatever, I don't care. But this one I'm like, oh, I wanted more of Solo Peter, not another Spider-Man character already, on top of all the other characters. And yeah, like for me, I thought automatically that she would be multiverse. If not, that actually makes it even more exciting for me. Like if she's just an ordinary person getting bit by another spider, whether it be Peter's or something else, like that'd be really cool. That'd be really, really cool. I can't wait to see where they go with that. Like that's very fun storytelling to do a Spider-Gwen story. And I know a lot of people were upset, like you said, like people were excited about Gwen, but not so much Spider-Gwen, which is weird. I guess because Spider-Gwen is in a lot of stuff on the comics realm already. She's all over the movies now, animated-wise. And I guess people wanted a break, but, I'm all for more Spider-Gwen. Again, for me, I was just like, this might be a bit too soon. But hey, I trust the writers 100% after this season. So we'll see. Anything else about Spider-Gwen, Nathan? Yep.
I don't think so. I'm pretty excited to see what they do because I do have the trust of the writing team based off of what season 1 was able to do. I don't really have like any qualms from this season. They really did stick the landing for me. So I have faith that they know what they're doing. They're not just gonna randomly shoehorn in like any like multiverse plots, I don't think, or anything like that without like full merit of like how it's going to affect Peter and his journey.
Yeah. But yeah, so episode 10 starts. I'm like, okay, where do we go from here now? Like, okay, we have this whole Scorpion battle. Where's episode 10 go? But episode 9 alluded to like Norman doing this whole secret spider shit. Like he's copying Spider-Man's spider. I'm like, this can't be good. I'm like, for my theory going into episode 10 was like, okay, is he going to try and replicate the whole Spider-Man thing? And this is how we get Venom? Like, this is going to be crazy. But what they did blew me away in the ways that I was just like, wow, this is so cool.
Yeah, this was really interesting. It's a wild time. So essentially, Norman has used the combined knowledge from all the interns for Oscorp to make a fully stabilized portal machine. I don't know what it was called, but essentially it can open gateways to different points in the universe, and Norman wants to take the resources from space and use them to better our world.
Yes.
Always the dangers of science and pushing the boundaries. So
I also heard that he wants to hold the power of the sun in his hand, something like that.
no, I think it's the other guy you're thinking of.
Okay.
But maybe one day. That said, what is a bomb if not a sun? So they go to open it, and Norman's like, "Isn't it beautiful?" And the guy's like, "Well, I didn't do anything yet." And I was taken aback for a second too, because I was like, why is it a Doctor Strange portal? That's not. Can you harness that scientifically?
That's not good. And I like how all the other interns were like, "This is not what we signed up for." Like immediately, all the other people are like, "This isn't great." Cho is the only dude who's just like, "Yeah, this is my shit." Yeah.
The whole time, this man is. I already have like a theory that Amadeus is gonna end up in some fucking accident at Oscorp for his hubris, and I think that's how he's gonna become Hulk.
That would be so cool and awesome. I would love that.
Totally.
Yeah.
But yeah, that said, the portal opens. And, also, I do like the characterization that Norman keeps trying to push. Like, whenever someone's like, "Hey, we didn't like sign up to do any of this," he's just like, "Yeah, but think how this will advance your career. We have your best interest at heart always. Trust us." He's so happy.
I like that aspect of Norman. I think he's honestly genuine. It's like it's weird. Like I don't think he's lying to you. I think he's genuine. He's like, "This is how it would advance your career." Like he's a genuine person. But like, there's a point where like, okay, yeah, cool, but you also just straight up like, you didn't lie to me, but you also didn't tell me everything that my thing was gonna be used for.
He really does jump the gun a lot. Like I genuinely believe like he means like his pursuits. He's not like nefariously being evil behind the scenes and like tricking people. He's like, "No, I'm telling you, like I wanted to do this. Yes, I did use your talents, but I'm not going to forget you along the way." So I genuinely do believe he means well in his endeavors, but he's not assessing the risks as much as he should. He's rushing into the success before testing everything, which is how a lot of these accidents happen.
Exactly. So he's full of hubris. He's full of like, the need to be the guy to save the world, be the guy to push beyond like what we know. That's his thing.
Do you think it would be like an interesting reveal? Not necessarily in the show, but just like in general, that like, Oscorp is like one of the big names in science, but like maybe they're like the lowest performing, falling behind. That's why they keep like rushing these things.
I would love that. Yeah, like Oscorp, like Succession style. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, oh my God.
Like this company isn't really that great. Like they're not really doing the best, but but yeah, that's funny. But yeah, continue. So then, so like he's trying to open up this portal, and she gets.
But then a different portal opens up, and Stephen Strange comes through, and he's warning that like you can't open this up, like bad things are going to happen. And then Norman starts calling him out. It's like, "Oh, why should we listen to heroes playing their ideals? Like, you're the reason the Midtown got destroyed in the first place." And Strange is confused. He's like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm watching this, Evan.
Oh, yeah, pause it right. What did you think when he said that? What did you?
My immediate thought was, "Oh, this is a variant Strange. Why? Okay, well, I'll see where this goes." Like, again, I'm stupid, but I was.
I thought the same thing. I was like, "Oh, this is like another variant that he doesn't know." Jalen caught it. Jalen, like, I high fived him. He was like, "Oh, this is a time thing." I'm like, I went full variant. Jalen went full time. I'm like, wait, time? And then I was the one who I patted myself on the back. So I'm like, oh, if this is a time thing, this might explain how Peter gets his powers. And that was the next scene. I'm like, oh, okay, wow. They're really
everyone was so fucking far ahead of me. Because I was like, all right, a variant, let's go. And then, the story continues. They open the portal, and it's like, oh, see, it's all peaceful. Even though I'm sitting here like, is that not the vacuum of space? Like,
Nathan, I'm so confused. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's a comic book show, whatever.
It must be like a little portal gateway, like a little like film pass through. There's no shot. You're not just like losing air from Earth.
Yeah, like the other portal, Norman's like, I was like, oh,
like you've opened a second hole in the ozone if you've done this.
Like, man, I'm the same way. I watched it. I'm like, like what's happening here? They're all just like, oh, cool. Like in real life, guys, if you open a portal to space, it'll just be blackness. Like it'll just be blackness, like full on black with a couple specks
No,
of
they
light.
found a
Like,
galaxy that has a sun. That's fine.
but they were just looking like, oh, that looks so cool. Like they could see shit. Like there's no light. Like
Yeah, there's
what are
nothing
you
to
doing?
resource right now. You're just seeing the stars.
Yeah, it was really weird, but yeah, whatever.
It's fine.
Yeah.
They're thinking big picture. I get it.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, yeah, cool. See, everything's fine, and then something's approaching, and it's
They hear the
the
DOS
symbiote.
music.
But yeah, no, the symbiote from the beginning, the first episode, appears, and I'm like, oh, and I think it was at that point that where I was like, oh,
Tick, 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 tick.
I've seen this before. No, I'm sorry, that's not when it clicked. It clicked with me as soon as I saw the spider crawling around, and I was like, this. If I don't get this, I'm stupid because I have all the chess pieces here. There's no way I don't get it. So the
Isn't
fight.
it such a great idea, man? That's so cool.
It's an interesting idea. It's not a new idea because I've seen this before in Spider-Man. They
Which
tried.
one?
Well, it's not like not the time circuit thing. The whole time thing is new. That was brilliant. It's the factor of Peter's blood being used for the spiders to give him powers, because that was a plot in The Amazing Spider-Man. His dad's blood was used.
Yeah.
And
it was always destined to be Peter, basically.
Yeah, which is funny because at the time everyone was like, "That's stupid. Spider-Man shouldn't be a prophecy thing. It should just be. It could happen to anybody." And then it happened here, and everyone's like, "I know I'm a hypocrite, but I like this."
I hate that in stories where people like I find it odd, and I watch a lot of anime as well. Whenever prophecy is brought up in anime, like especially later on down the line for main characters, fans don't really like it. They're like, "Oh man, I wanted my favorite character to be special," and I'm all like, prophecy doesn't like delete how special a main character is.
Arguably makes him the most special.
Like it happened in Naruto, no spoilers, but like the end of Naruto, it's like prophecy gets in there, and I'm just like, yeah, but Naruto still went through a lot of shit to get to where he is. Like Peter still goes through a lot of shit, regardless of if the bite is like destined to be him or not. Like Peter is still like affected by his environment, less so than the spider. So like I don't mind prophecy in my storytelling. But yeah, I thought it worked out well here.
Yeah, no, it definitely did. It does create a paradox for Spider-Man being created in general, which I'm fine with. That those are always interesting to explore. I was just very surprised, but it all worked for me in this storytelling.
Yeah, it also reminded me a little bit of Miles Morales, the animated movies, where like the multiverse spider came in there and bit Miles.
I thought that from the very first episode. I was like, how many spiders are in the multiverse? But this isn't the multiverse. This is this timeline using time travel, which it does all click and make sense because Steven does currently have the time stone, so it all flows very well.
Yeah. So yeah, but then Norman is so shaken by this. Like he sees the Venom thing, he's like, "What on earth? Like what? Like I didn't really expect it." And I think again, I really like the Norman character. He isn't all like high and mighty. He instantly feels that fear, like, "Oh shit, I fucked up." So I instantly got that. He's not like, "Oh shoot, I'm out of here." He's not like pushing people over, like, "Get out of here! I'm out. See my skin." He's not like a mustache twirling dude yet. So I kind of like that kind of stuff. And then Venom versus or the symbiote versus Doctor Strange, fun as well, fun again.
Good stuff.
And then
He literally
Peter
at one point he like rewinds his movements to give Peter some time to fix the machine.
That was cool. And Peter's like, "What's happening?" He's like, "Just do your shit. Don't ask."
I just told you.
I would never get tired of Spider-Man working with Doctor Strange. Animation, live action, otherwise.
They're fantastic. Same creator, not just Stan, but Steve Ditko as well.
Yeah.
So that's always wonderful. They don't have, I don't think, too many storylines together, but I think whenever they do come together, it is very compelling.
For sure.
But then the portal does open up by accident. Steven ends up taking the symbiote away from the situation so that Peter can actually fix it, and then the lines from the first episode come back around, and Steven's like, "What? Where are we? Oh, we're not supposed to be here because
He's like, oh
it's
shoot! Now he
cold."
realized what's going on. Yeah, he's like, oh shit! I really messed up this time. And I think it wasn't his fault. I think doesn't the symbiote mess up like where he wants to go in time or something like that? I think he meant to go back a little bit, and then the symbiote like throughout all the chaos, like they went way back in time.
Yeah, something went awry. I think he was set to make a portal to send him back to where he needed to, but then something with the time stone activated at the same time by accident.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was all happenstance, and at the same time, the spider is dripping down on the longest string of web you will ever see.
Very long string of web, yeah, for sure. Yeah, a lot of
But
big silk flexibility there.
yeah, but now also it is interesting that by this point, when Steven goes to take the symbiote back, and he thanks past Peter, who we were following at the present at the time in the first episode, for saving when the civilians distract the symbiote. Steven is aware of this kid. He is currently talking with Spider-Man, does not know they're the same person, but has mutual respect for both. And that's cool.
That was very sweet. I agree, man. That was really cool.
But yeah, they end up fixing it, sending the symbiote back through. And it's like, oh, everything's good, right? And then, straight from the Web of Shadows video game, Evan, a Hydra symbiote is trying to make its way through the portal.
Huge ass symbiote. I forgot about this too. So yeah, so they send the smaller one out, right? But then like, the bigger one appears, and that's when
it may have been like a distress call or something. But now it's all trying to make its way through, and Steven's trying his best to hold it back. I can't remember. Like he was able to like kick it back for a second some way. I wish I was every time I watch in a symbiote battle for the first time, I wish I could just tell them use something sonic or use fire. But they don't know, and I understand. That said, we're cutting it close, but they're able to close the portal, but not before a little bit of symbiote makes its way through. And I was thinking, Evan, that it was going to attach to Peter, unbeknownst to him.
Me too.
Follow him home.
I was like, oh no, already? We're doing this already? Like the symbiote storyline for me is like Dark Phoenix. I'm like, oh boy, here we go again.
We got to build up that lore before we do all that.
Yeah, so I'm glad they didn't have it attached to him immediately. Like, keep it with Osborn.
I'm hoping that come season 2, is like for big picture thinking, that we can start to establish Peter working at the Daily Bugle, since he is, taking akin to the Ben's camera, and maybe Eddie Brock could be working there, and then we could tee that up for actual Venom later on.
That'd be really nice. So that way we can see him going to church and praying for Peter's death.
Yes. Which I'm sure Drake is doing right now. That said, Norman is kind of ahead, but Norman ends up finding the bit of symbiote, which, this is very in line with Oscorp working with symbiote stuff. Only this time, instead of them actually making the symbiote from scratch in a lab, this is actually the alien symbiote that they're going to be running tests on, and that does intrigue me.
That really does intrigue me. There is a storyline in the comic books. I just thought of this. There's a storyline in the comic books with the Spider-Gwen storyline where Spider-Gwen Venom attaches to Spider-Gwen, and her powers change dramatically. She no longer uses like the web projectiles. All of her webbing is based on like the symbiote, and it's not negative at all. It's like it just her personality doesn't change. Her powers just change. It is really cool.
I've come to understand her entire suit now is a symbiote.
Basically, like it's just like it's kind of like not like nanotech, but it's kind of like Venom version of nanotech.
Yeah, it's not like an alt suit. It's literally her original suit, but it is a living symbiote.
Exactly.
I don't like that personally, but because I just like the suit being the suit.
Me too. It's cool, but it's really freaky and weird. I think they removed it now. I haven't caught up with my Spider-Gwen stuff. But.
Like. It is like really interesting art though. Like I see like the hoodie be like the jaws of the symbiote at times.
I think it's changed now, but I'm not fully sure. I have to double check. I'm subscribed to a Spider-Gwen comic. Every month I get like $4 down the drain. I'm like, what is going on here? Then I look at my Kindle. I'm like, oh, I'm way behind on Spider-Gwen. But so yeah, I think I don't think she's doing that now because now she lives in the 616 universe.
Yeah,
So yeah,
because we always
people,
gotta go back. It it is the fucking Jakku of fucking. It's the Tatooine of Marvel. Is 616.
Spider-Gwen was so cool in her own universe. It was awesome. But now she's stuck with like hanging out with Miles, which is fun,
Yeah,
and Peter, of course. But it's like now everybody loves the Ultimates. Like watch Spider-Gwen just get sent to the Ultimates universe, and then he just
right.
keeps multiverse hopping.
the The whole structure of the new Ultimate Universe, like the origin of that universe, is really compelling. The idea that there's a being who took out every essential origin of a hero to become a hero and get their powers and stole that legacy from them, and then later on somebody liberated that idea to the heroes and just caught them up to speed, like, you were supposed to be this person, do you want the opportunity to take it? It's one of the best ones in Spider-Man as well.
That's what's happening in like the current Ultimates or the past Ultimates.
The new current Ultimate Universe. That is how it begun.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome! I like, wow, that's really cool.
That's what creates like a big thing. I think it's that universe's Tony that's giving the spider to Peter, who's just human at this point. And then when he decides to take it, there's like a cool panel where like it's a flash of lightning that silhouettes him, but it's like the fucking Spider-Man eyes.
Wow, I think you're right. I think this might be in the like the because before we got Ultimate Spider-Man, they revealed like what's it called, like the whole Ultimates #1, like the beginning of the universe comic.
Yeah.
I might have to buy that to understand this new Ultimates universe.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really, really fascinating.
Yeah.
But yeah, I gotta catch up on that comic. I'm also subscribed to that comic. I should probably unsubscribe to a lot of things because my bank account is just like comic books down the line, and I'm just like, yeah, this is adding up. But I also read a lot of comic books. So, anyways, but yeah, this whole endeavor with Venom and all that kind of stuff, again, symbiote, really fascinating. I did not expect this storyline to go this way in the finale, but I love it. It just, again, elevates a lot of the things that we love about the series. Like, again, from this season at least. Peter, everything that he's going through, his environment, his friendships with Nico and Harry, that all remains the same. It's just that he's always been Peter Parker, or Peter Parker's always been Spider-Man. I think there's that full circle loop really seemed like this one emotional, heartwarming sentiment to the season. And we get the whole Doctor Strange and Peter scene, which also like puts a great cap on the season as well.
Yeah.
Which really
that was a beautiful little moment of just showcasing that Peter is uncertain, how well of a hero he's being, but Stephen being able to reassure him that he's on the right path, which is wonderful.
Really wonderful. We also missed the Nico and Harry are starting like their own agency outside of Oscorp, which is really cool.
Web.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe you.
It's I forgot what it stood for.
I don't know. I can't think of it.
We elect Bernie.
I think it was like worldwide or something. I don't know. Either way, it's like it gives Harry something, not something to do like in a mean way, but like it gives him like he's like, oh wait, I can make my own business. I got influence. I have connections.
I am rich.
Yeah, right. So he's gonna be doing that. Nico's like, cool. I'll be on board helping you guys with that. So it reminds me of like Karen Page, Foggy, and Matt like all coming together. That's really cool.
He sends out a lot of invite emails. All the interns are accepting, except Amadeus, motherfucker.
Except Amadeus.
There were a couple of names. I forget. There were a couple of names on the board that he was sending out to. One of them was Ned Leeds. Another one was a name I recognize. I have to go find it.
Yeah.
Max Dillon. Max Dillon. Electro was one of the names.
Really? What?
Yeah.
That's
as
really
like
cool.
An invitation to send out.
Matt Dillon. Okay, let me some Max Dillon. I mean, that's really cool. I should have paused it when I got to that. But yeah, that's exciting. And this is where we get a lot of the teases after this scene with Harry sending out the emails. We got a lot of the teases for what's next in season 2. we learned that one I can remember is that Jeanne, who was one of the interns who was like spying on Osborn, or like what's going on with her? She is working with Matt Murdock, Daredevil,
Yes.
as like a sidekick. I was like, is she White Tiger? But I don't know if she is. I don't think so. Like, I don't know.
No, I think she is an existing character. I'm just trying to remember who, because she I don't think she's ever been adapted before.
Let me look at my Disney Plus right here. Perfect timing. Finesse, perfect timing.
Finesse.
He calls her Finesse. I'm like, never heard of her before. Granted, I don't read a lot of Daredevil comics. She might be a new character.
Yeah.
Because Daredevil is wearing like the black and red suit, which is very new for him. Like that's like 2018 era, Charles Soule era Daredevil with the black and red.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. Lonnie, we see glimpses of Lonnie here. His fingers are chipping. Nathan.
Oh no.
He's chipping. I don't like this. Like, this is dark, guys, because you can't really come home and be like, hey, Mom, I look completely different now. Like, what happened with you, Lonnie? Like, we've seen a lot of changes with Lonnie, personality-wise. You know, he's going his new direction. But now he's physically changing. And that's going to make things more darker and interesting.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Finesse is the daughter of Taskmaster, and she has the similar, like, copying abilities.
What? Taskmaster has a daughter?
Doesn't everybody in Marvel at some point?
I guess so, yeah. That's really cool. Hello.
Yeah.
I like that. Daughter of Taskmaster. That's really cool. Cool.
But not a villain, to be clear.
So we got Daredevil stuff. We have what's it called? Osborn. We have Lonnie. Nico finally getting more into her powers and connecting with her mother. She sends like a trigram, some kind of witch symbol on the ground, and starts communicating with her mom. Like, this is some Full Metal Alchemist. This is some crazy shit here. Like, I'm really intrigued here. This is some anime shit. I really like that. Like, we know she's getting some witch powers, but usually that stuff doesn't really bode well. Spoiler alert for Full Metal Alchemist: they try to bring their mom back to life, and they lose part of their souls. Not great. And then at the end, we see, I'm looking at it here, we get glimpses of Norman. You know, that talk in prison really invigorated him to really get out of Dodge. And we see glimpses of his drawings of the arms there for Otto Octavius. And then the biggest T for season 2, Peter, his father in prison, talking to Aunt May. Wow, there's so much, Nathan.
I truly was like, I think I yelled because I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean you're alive and in prison?
Wow. Amazing Spider-Man?
I wonder, like, was he a super spy? Is he in prison for something he didn't do? I would hope. Although the parallels of like Peter's father being not a great guy is an interesting one to take for Peter, especially a living relative that he doesn't know is alive.
He's 1,000% not going to be a great guy. But hopefully they write it well. But like, maybe not. Maybe I don't know. I'm going back and forth on it because I'm like, well, you already got Norman as like a father figure.
Yeah, I think like, why else would May be coming to see him? I mean, they very well could be doing a thing where they're trying to prove that this might be a Flash situation. It was evident. It was so funny on Twitter. Someone was like viewing the episode, and they had previously watched the Flash, and he's like, I feel like I'm watching the Flash again. I feel like they tricked me. And then the scene happened. They're like, God damn it.
Yeah, I saw that as well. Like, and somebody tweeted at Jeff, the showrunner, like, is this very Flash? And he was like, to be honest, I watched the Flash when it was airing at the CW 10 years ago now, which is crazy. And he was like, I didn't really realize it, but I guess there are some similarities. It's just like,
I went into the stuff with Flash and seeing stuff, and I had seen like the actor for Jay Garrick Flash, right? Who previously like played Flash in the 90s. I didn't realize he was the same actor who was playing Barry's dad in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
And now we are in a situation where Josh Keaton is voicing Peter's father, who was a past Spider-Man.
Which is awesome. So
Yeah.
isn't Josh Spectacular Spider-Man?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, so that's really cool. I'm really glad he's back and doing another Spider-Man show. That's really special.
Totally.
But yeah, this season was just so special, so cool, so awesome. I'm like really ecstatic to watch. Like this is now a top 10 anticipated show for next year. I did not see that coming at all.
Yeah.
So next year we're getting a new season of Spider-Man Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. And next year, we're getting a new season of Invincible. And speaking of that, let's talk about Invincible Season 3, episode, what is it? 5, 6, 5?
I think it's 5.
I think we have 6, 7, 8 left, which is crazy. We're already towards the end here. This was a great episode. This is a good prison break episode. And we get the return of the GOAT, Machine Head. He's back, baby. Yes!
Yes, T-Pain's back. He's with his auto tune.
You work for me now. I'm like, this guy.
I would get out of prison.
Jeffrey Donovan, the GOAT.
Let's go.
I'm so glad he's so good. Like as a huge like Burn Notice fan, I just love.
Yeah.
I love Jeffrey Donovan. He is so good in this show. He is great as Machine Head, and now he's back and better than ever. Let's go.
Yes, Wrath of Man star to Invincible star.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Wrath of Man is pretty underrated. I like Wrath of Man.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this episode really cool. So we got some great Mark and Eve stuff happening here. We get the return of their version of Tombstone in Invincible here.
Titan.
Slash Luke Cage. Yeah. Titan, which is really cool. Always a very smart character. I like seeing his interactions with Mark. Really cool.
Totally.
And yeah, this episode starts off. I think you watched it way more recently than I did. With Mark and Eve. Or Mark at least wanting to make a new apartment, right? Like get out of Dodge, get out of the house. There,
Yeah. So like Eve sneaking out, and everyone knows what's up.
So awkward. It's like Oliver's like, I heard y'all making noise.
Yeah, they woke me up. I guess we were watching a movie.
And my thing is like, if Oliver's thinking that, did Deborah not hear anything there either, or is she just like playing it coy?
She could be playing coy. I mean, she is for sure during the whole conversation.
Yeah, I mean, she knows Eve is there, but did she hear them having sex? Like, come on, guys.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
Why are we even doing this?
Kill as well?
There's no way I'm fucking at my mom's house with Oliver there. It's like, just go somewhere else. Like,
at the very least, Eve, can you materialize some soundproof material around everywhere?
Right? Like, Eve, come on. But
we have the technology.
We had the technology. It was very adorable, though. It was really cool. I just love their relationship.
They are so heavy-handed with their fucking alibi dialogue. It's like, oh, Eve, what are you doing here at this hour in the morning? Oh, hi, Mark. I just happened to be in the neighborhood and thought I'd stop by.
Like, you're never just in my neighborhood. Get out of here. What are you doing?
Also, you have never talked like this ever.
Never. So that was very funny. What happened after this? Because I think that's a big part of their relationship. And, just fast forwarding, going all over the place here. I like how we commented last week, or at least I did, where their relationship is moving super fast. And they already said, like, I love you last week in episode, like, 4. I'm like, wow, like, I get it. We got that great montage of them, like, already having this emotional connection to each other.
Which is funny, because I was watching that montage, and I was like, this all looks like the same day.
It could have been. But I like how like they're moving so fast, and by the end of the episode, Eve is just like, which one? I think is Eve is saying that we're moving too fast.
Mark brings up the idea of maybe they should wait on getting the apartment, and Eve is like, okay, yeah, I'm actually fine with that. I did feel like we were going a little fast.
Okay,
and but there's no animosity. They're on even footing with the same ideas.
Usually, when you hear somebody saying like, I think we're moving too fast, it's like, like. This relationship's going.
What am I doing wrong?
Yeah, like what's going on? But again, it's so wholesome and so like they obviously still do love each other. It's just like, yeah, maybe we can still just live at our parents' house. because they did kind of feel weird to me. It's like they set up Eve moving back with her parents, Mark going back with his parents, but then to get a new apartment, like I was game for it. It makes sense. They're adults now, but also it's like, okay, I do like it. It was very interesting. Deborah and Mark have such a obviously genuine, their mother and son, but they have a special connection where they have to raise Oliver, who's just unique and different, and leaving Deborah to her own devices, even though Deborah is stretching her own wings. I like that Deborah was so open to Mark and being like, oh, thank God. Like, I really wanted you to stay. Like, I thought that was very sweet. I'm like, yeah, she's a mom. She's very real. Like, no, Mark, I actually want you to stay. You don't hear that a lot from parents. Usually parents are like, go, spread your wings. I'll be fine. But she's like, no, actually, I like living with you, Mark. I like having that space with you. It was very sweet. I liked how natural that all felt, organic.
Totally.
I like that relationship a lot. So that was very cool.
Before we get back into like the main plot with Titan and the prison break stuff, a couple of, like, side things. A quick scene. There's a scene between Rex and is it Roxy?
Rex and Ray. Dude. This relationship is all the stars, all the claps, everything. I love it. I love it to death.
Shout out Kendrick, all the stars.
Oh, man. Bring me back to the Black Panther end credits. That was a different time.
Bring back to Super Bowl. I keep watching that Super Bowl performance.
What a great performance. You know, people are hating. Yeah, that was peak. But yeah, dude, Rex and Ray, what a surprising. I did not see this coming, especially after they both nearly died last season.
So horribly, mind you. Like, yeah, I know, like Rex got fucked up, but like she was like fucking crunched on the inside of someone's body. It's disgusting. This is like boys level disgusting.
Can't imagine what she went through, what they both went through. But to see them trying to live like normal lives, seeing Rex going through his changes, like him making, this was the episode where he makes the dinner, right?
Yeah.
That was so sweet. And I'm like Rex, I can't cook worth shit, but like you can see him making like that meal prep shit.
Yeah, he got a meal kit.
He got a meal kit.
He also he swiped some booze from the Mortal from like the 1700s, and it tasted like ass.
Yeah, I bet. I'm like, oh boy, that looks disgusting.
I watched him pour it, and I saw some crusty bits fall outside the mug, and I was like, don't do this.
But I just like, I would legit give me an entire episode. Give me a spinoff. People who read the comics say that there's enough to do like a Rex special because of his backstory that they haven't revealed yet. I'm like, oh,
right on.
Because Rex has teased like he grew up in a lab. I'm like, let's dive into that. Who was his father? What happened there? So that'd be very interesting for Rex. But yeah, Rex and Ray, dude, peak. Like, I did not expect to love Mark and Eve. But now I love equally as much Rex and Ray. And it's interesting. They're not going out, but they did hold hands. So it's like, I'm like, they didn't say like, hey, do you want to go out with me? They didn't say that, but it's just like they just have an innate relationship.
Now, Evan, I know we're in like season 3, granted, but isn't it just so nice to be sitting in a show where like basically all the main relationships are like not having these like secretive interlude issues of things and like being on the wrong footing. Like everyone's on the same page. Everyone just wants to be together, and they are, and it's nice, and we get to develop that emotional attachment to these.
Right, I'm with you. Like we're getting these strong emotional attachments. I'm glued to the screen. I'm locked in. I'm like, yay!
I hope nothing happens.
If Ray dies, I'm turning off the TV and I'm going to Robert Kirkman's house, and I'm like, yeah, I'm knocking on his door. Change the script. Do something different. But yeah, I think they're safe.
I think I saw. I'm not gonna say, but I think I saw something on from like a comic panel, and I was like, oh no. So
oh no.
That could be for anybody. I'm not gonna confirm who, but yeah, I hope it's not real.
Oh no, I don't want. I want Rex and Ray to be happy together. Oh shit. So yeah, we'll wait and see what happens there.
Mark fucking die. I don't know.
I mean, I'll be like, I want Mark to live. I think he will be, because I think you have to get to the bottom of like him being better than Cecil in terms of like saving the day and whatever he said, be the good guy, whatever it's called. He either be the good guy or the guy that saves the world or something like that. And like I keep on saying every week, Mark can do both. I think he's just growing into that, that essence. So what else did we? You said a couple little things besides that.
Toward the end of the episode, there's the scene where Oliver sneaks out into the night.
That was a great scene. And they're like, "What happened to Oliver? Oh no! Oh, he's just making friends.
He's just a boy.
He's just a boy."
I'm a boy.
And that was cool. Where he like pushed the guy into the wall, and the guy splattered and blew up. I'm kidding.
Was this the boys?
That'd be funny. I was nervous that when Oliver was like, "You know what?" I'm like, "Oh,
yeah." I'm just like Mark. I'm there. I was like, "Don't do it, please." And then he just pants them all. That's it.
That was really cool.
I was like, "Oh, thank God." Also, like, props to Eve being the one to hold Mark back. I'm like, let's just see what happens.
What if Oliver really did kill him? And Eve's like, "Oh, I didn't see that coming."
I feel bad that I doubted, but also at the same time, you understand why you would.
Yeah. I'll be like, trust Oliver. You're his brother. I think he'll do the right thing. Which I think is just a show telling us that like Oliver is a product of like obviously the product of like Nolan and the other race, his mom, whatever. Yeah. But Mark and Deborah really do have a great hold on Oliver, despite the hurdles that Oliver is going through. I think Oliver is really going to be a good character. I don't think we're going to get like evil Oliver by the end of the season or anything.
No, I think he'll be plenty solid, and I'm excited to see his development move forward. I think what I'm most looking forward to is whenever Oliver and Omni-Man reunite. I think that'll be a compelling storyline.
That would be. That really would be. I think that's it for the other ancillary storyline. Unless I'm missing something.
No, I think that's all. Side thing to the main plot is what's the guy's name who's in prison that can multiply?
Multi-Mark or Multi-Paul?
Multi-Paul, yeah. So yeah, the main goal is to break him out because his gang leader is threatening Titan to break him out because he's his best assassin. But then we get into her and Kate's past, right?
Paul and Kate, yeah, they were raised in like a research lab, very similar to like Rex and Ray and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. This one seems a lot more brutal.
It really is brutal. It's dark. Their father was kind of driven insane by having to, raise them both because they would multiply all the time. That's just more chaos of watching these children trying to keep them safe. It's maddening. I would get that.
I can't imagine. I'm like, that was so eerie to seeing their father like broken.
Yeah, just two as a single parent would be plenty to pull you thin, but they were multiplied at least 3 times each, and it was like, oh fuck, they're running around everywhere. He's like catatonic almost. And they're of two minds, I think, because Paul is angry at their father about it, whereas Kate is more understanding, and they're both aware, like, hey, our dad's birthday's coming up, so like they're still aware of like him, he's around. I think he's still probably the same mentally, I think was alluded to, but
yeah. Well, I thought this was interesting. Kate, you see this a lot in TV and movies or whatever, where siblings go through something traumatic and the younger one usually just like becomes one with the program. Like this is bad stuff happening. Kate's like getting beat up by Paul, and she's like, she doesn't say it, but like she gets back up and like, let's fight. Like you can tell Kate's more like okay with it, but she's so young, she doesn't have like that experience to know like, hey, this is kind of wrong. Paul, who's a bit older, is like, I don't like beating up my sister. I don't like what's going on here.
I kind of took that scene of like, it looked like Paul was about to turn on the people. They're housing it, but then Kate was willing to take the punches so that they didn't.
True. Yeah, but I also got the sense that Kate was like, again, not fine with it, but just like, let's get back to the program, basically.
Sure.
So you don't go off the rocker. And
Mm.
I think which goes to the present, but then like in the present tense, Kate's the hero and Paul's the assassin.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I think like Kate's also naive to be like, well, I work with people that like I can trust, and I'm like, no, you don't, Kate.
Mm.
But then also Paul. Then I also don't agree with Paul though, who works for an
Yeah.
assassin. I'm like, Paul, your lifestyle isn't great either. So this world is very flawed. Whoever you work for, we just realized that Cecil had a bug in Mark's head. So it's like your institutions, everything's all flawed here. Which is why you should be like the team. Get a group of friends that you can trust. But yeah, so that backstory was really interesting as well. And that initial escape sequence before we get the whole breakout, that was wild.
That was wild. Because like he like holds himself up into like the light fixture, right? So that like he can flood the room to the point where it has no option but to burst. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, A, will it not fill up into your hiding spot there? I guess not. But B,
it was close.
But B, I'm pretty sure he's feeling the full pain of all of these people at once.
Is he feeling that pain?
Probably, maybe.
Oh wow!
If I were to guess,
I don't think he feels pain from what the other clones go through. But he was about to drop and fall into that carnage.
I think he would, because they are like kind of like, I think they do operate on a hive mind type deal. It's not like they're individual personalities that are existing. It's all just the one.
Is it?
I think so. Yeah, for sure. So that way it's like,
because we know from Kate's past, like Kate, we don't even know if that's her. We don't know that she keeps a clone away.
She does, but I think but she was like still like living on, like she had like the memories of all the clones and stuff too. But like I'm pretty sure like she even like spoke in like the form of we when it was multiple of her and stuff like that. It's not
that's
just
true.
Like
that's true. I get what you're saying. Yeah. But yeah, so it was pretty gnarly. But then it doesn't work out initially, and that's when the big assassin guy is like, I really wish I remember his name, but like he goes over to Titan. He's just like, you got to free my guy, and Titan really doesn't want to do that. He does, especially because he knows that Invincible and Eve now are also like trying to put some security, trying to play as security at this prison. This is their way of like getting some money and starting their own business. So that storyline is converging here as well. And Titan's like, I really don't want to ruin my groove here. And that's when he's like, let me get some experience. Let me get some help from somebody. And that's when he brings in Machine Head to help him out here. And that was a really cool reunion. He's like, oh, you coming back to me? Okay. Like he's full. And it was just so cool. It was just so cool seeing him back, trying to act all high and mighty. And the plan they come up together is pretty ingenious, pretty good.
Pretty good. That antagonist is pretty compelling. He can turn his essence into a dragon, but it leaves his body.
That was so cool. So cool. So overpowered. And not obviously not overpowered, because we realized just shoot the body and it's over.
Yeah.
But like, oh man, Mark and Eve are going through it. Oh, but before that, I like that. So does Titan go to Machine Head first, then Mark, or Mark then Machine Head?
I think he goes to Machine Head first, like to get like ideas on how to function this.
And it cuts off. But obviously, by the end of the episode, we know like they came up with a plan together during.
They came up with a plan, but Titan still played him as well. By the end, to get what he wanted, faked his death and stuff.
Titan faked his death?
Yeah, he gets like from the jump. Who's the teleporter dude that's his assistant?
I know you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, it initially is like, oh, he betrays Titan and lets him get killed, but he was on Titan's side the whole time. So in doing that, it allowed it to look like Titan was killed, so that he could go off and do his stuff. I think he comes in later, right?
I don't think the plan was to pretend that he was killed, because Titan then comes in later and is like, as per our deal, you don't mess with my city, and then you get to do your own order shit.
Yes.
So I think the plan was always going to be like, hey, I'll free you. We kill the Asian leader, and then you get in charge of the organization. I forget what it's called, like the Order or something like that, or
The Order, yeah.
the Order, which is weird. I'm watching this anime called Sakamoto Days, and they have a group called the Order. I'm like, are we serious? To the Orders. Anyways, so like you get in charge of the Order.
Now, no more deal.
So you get charged the Order. I stay in my city. So I don't think he was trying to fake him out that he died or anything, but he did put his life on the line because the dragon erupts at the mansion, and he's just like Titan versus the dragon. And I fell for this. I didn't see this twist coming in terms of like the Electro guy actually being a like a triple agent, turning back around and just like helping out Titan by the end of it all. So that was really cool. But it worked out. But yeah, I say that all to say I liked that initial scene of Titan helping, or Titan going to Mark, because he's just another example of Mark struggling to be a hero without Cecil in the mix. Like, this is him just like looking at the plight that the city has gone through since like season 1, and Titan's showing like, okay, this is how the city has changed because I'm the leader now. I need you to help me. And Mark's immediately like, nope, you're a criminal. I'm not helping you out. Which is, again, just goes back to Mark's very much like headstrong, one-track mind kind of prerogative here. And but I like how at the end of the episode he does like, man, I kind of messed up there. I could have just helped out, and this could have been solved easily. But it would have required him to help out Multipole, which is not great either. So yeah, Multipole ended up leaving anyway. So
does he? He got out.
Multipole got out. Yeah. When he fights Eve, one clone walks away from the cage.
That's right. That's right.
And then at the end of the episode, he gives Kate like a little paper thing.
That's true. That was an interesting breakout as well, because like he has the power dampener collar, so like he can't use his powers, but he's trying his best to push. And when he does, he's able to break out of it, but he ends up destroying like 12 of them at once, and it gives himself a nosebleed. And it's like, that's fucking close, dude. Be careful.
That was crazy. Yeah, and throughout all the chaos, as like the dragons fighting Mark, Eve's fighting Multipole. I thought Eve versus Multipole was very interesting because Eve should have the leg up. She's one of the strongest heroes. Multipole tricks her. Like he ends up like saving one clone. I love the way Multipole fights, by the way, like bouncing off some of the clones to like elevate his punches and kicks. I thought just so cool seeing him fight with the clone. I love a good clone fight.
Very Naruto.
Very Naruto. I'm about to say very Naruto clone, Shadow Clone Jutsu all the time, easily. So that was really cool. Seeing the whole dragon fight with Eve and Mark, like, oh my God, that was brutal. There's one point where the dragon bites through Mark's chest and just like, oof, like that has to hurt. That was crazy. And Mark nearly dies. If it wasn't for Machine Head shooting the guy in the face at his body. And I like how the teleported guy dropped the other guy from this guy, like the bodyguard.
Yeah.
The size of Nebraska. Who's that from Nebraska?
The auto-tune is insane.
It was good.
But also, I was surprised that once that man was dropped, he survived.
He survived with the sling over his shoulder. I'm like, wait, who are you there? I thought you were.
Must have concentrated that fucking angle.
I thought it was some normal henchman. I'm like, oh, he is putty now. He's gone. But yeah, so that was fascinating. So that guy has obviously supernatural powers, and the Asian leader guy ends up surviving as well. I don't think Machine Head or Titan expected this, but like the dragon comes back into the body or something like that. I forget how it worked. Yeah,
the essence of the dragon returns to its spirit, returns to the body, and he wakes up.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, Multipole escapes, and Machine Head also escapes as well throughout all the chaos. And Machine Head, per the deal, is now in charge of the Order, which he always wanted to be. But he Titan comes in and he's like, don't come in my city. And he's like, you know what? I'm in an optimistic mood. And you caught me on a good day. And he lets Titan hey, you get the city, I get the whole international gang. He's like, any questions? And they all shut up. They don't do anything. So hopefully we see him again because he was
And
great.
then as soon as he left the room, he's like, "Were you guys scared?" I was a little bit.
So that was cool. So I think that was it for the episode.
Yeah,
Very fun episode.
Yeah, good stuff. I'm excited to see where we move forward. If we get any more updates with Nolan and Alan.
Yeah, the Viltrumite. We have 3 episodes left. So I think the last 3 episodes are going to be full on Viltrumite war here. I think it's going to start picking up steam.
Yeah.
Oh, let me look at the teaser for this week if we got one.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but I think there's some villain antagonist coming up that's in like a red and black suit.
Oh, hello.
Like
yeah, Aaron Paul.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Aaron Paul stars as Powerplex. I am Powerplex. And Jacob from Discussing Film says this is the best episode of the show so far, by the way.
Oh shit.
So that's exciting. So yeah, there seemed to be some kind of oh whoops, my sound is on. How unpodcast like of me. So Aaron Paul coming in, it's giving very much like Sentry vibes.
Okay.
So Mark and Eve versus Powerplex, that's gonna be exciting. Aaron Paul, man, his rent due because this guy is voicing. So yeah, we'll see what happens. That'll be on Friday. What else? That was it. Yeah. Quickly, some other news. We have hour and 25. We're making great time today, guys. We're killing it. Let's go to this Avatar Studio stuff because this shit is my jam. Avatar: The Last Airbender, one of my favorite shows of all time, Nathan. Of all time.
All time.
I've had, no lie, Nathan, on my show notes for this podcast, for my cup of tea, I've had the rumored Avatar story beats in my show notes for like since January or since like December, like when it first dropped. But I haven't really talked about it because I'm like, we just never have time, and I'm like, it's rumors. I'll wait till something official drops. Well, something official has dropped. Avatar: Seven Havens has officially been announced by Paramount Studios. And this is the exact same title that had been leaked months ago. I want to shout out the people who really broke the story on Seven Havens. Night Edge Media. They're great written by Caleb Williams on Twitter. Very good follow if you're a huge Avatar fan. They broke a lot of this stuff. But Avatar Studios announces Avatar: Seven Havens, which is per the tagline here. It is set in a world shattered by a devastating cataclysm. A young earthbender discovers she's the new Avatar after Korra. But in this dangerous era, that title marks her as humanity's destroyer, not its savior. Wow. Hunted by both human and spirit enemies, she and her long-lost twin must uncover their mysterious origins and save the Seven Havens before civilization's last strongholds collapse. Wow. This is going to be, per the rumors, a post-apocalyptic Avatar series. And people have been very upset with the whole twin stuff. Like, how can there be 2 avatars? That's what we have stories for, guys.
Oh, they're both Avatar.
That's what they think. No,
okay.
This is where the rumor.
I just presumed that. Okay, I just presumed that like one of them is the Avatar and the other is just a human. And
that's probably what's going to happen. But I think they both like. I can't find the whole synopsis, but I believe it's the 4 nations don't exist. There's all these havens, and because there's twins, I think they say like either the White Lotus or some group picks one sister and trains her up to be the Avatar, thinking she's the Avatar, but it's going to be our Earthbender person. I think her name is Pavi, who is actually going to be It says here the White Lotus is expected to have taken one of the twins, raised her in wealth, and is seen as more powerful. It's unknown if they were separated at birth. We don't really know yet. But the other one, our main character, grows up on the streets and is one of the more like spunky characters. She has an animal guide, which is by the way, before I dive deeper, this is rumors, but like light spoilers because there's still a lot we don't know. So this is just like breadcrumbs. But if you don't want to know, then cover your ears or whatever. But,
are they both benders?
Yeah, so they both appear to be benders. Our main character is definitely an earthbender because Caleb says there's a scene where she like evades some people by earthbending and like jumping from like rock to rock. And the other one that is taken in by the White Lotus trains heavily with them and can bend earth very powerfully as well. Again, he said speculation, but the series could eventually introduce both as having Rava within. Have you watched Legend of Korra, by the way, or you stopped after season 1? What was your?
I got halfway into season 1.
Halfway into season 1. Well, spoiler, not spoiler, but in season 2, there's this entity called Rava and Vatu. Rava is like the light. Vatu is the darkness. Every avatar has the essence of Rava, the light, within them. So the essence of having two avatars can never happen because Rava is just one entity, can't really split herself into two people. So it's like one of them has to be the avatar. The other one is going to be sorely mistaken. So we don't know how that's going to work.
In that case, could the darkness take over one?
That's the thing here. They said they could also play with the idea that the dark and light avatar stories arise from Korra season 2 again, where one could be light, one could be darkness. Again, this was in Avatar Legend of Korra season 2. Season 2 is notably the weakest season of Legend of Korra. People hate that season. Spoiler alert for season 2, Nathan. Just because it goes into my rant. But this is also the season where Korra unfortunately gets manipulated. People blame Korra for that. By the end of the season, the past avatars are taken away from Korra, where she can no longer communicate with her past lives. This incident, when this happened on live TV, people hated it. 10 years later, people still hate it. When people complain about Korra, this is the reason. They think Korra broke the Avatar legacy. It's her effing fault that she can't communicate with Aang and the other avatars anymore. She's so stupid, all that stuff. She got manipulated. And was it because she's headstrong? Yes. But she's a flawed character. She got manipulated. A lot of avatars make mistakes. Roku, in the original Avatar, effed up. Like, the 100-Year War could have ended. Yeah. Could have ended if Roku killed his best friend. He wasn't able to do that. He gets manipulated by his best friend, Avatar, the Fire Lord previously, who kills Roku during that volcano scene. Heartbreaking. And Roku fails. And is left. He leaves it in charge of Aang, who is a 12-year-old, and of course Aang leaves. And do people blame Aang for that? 100 Years of Darkness? I don't see them complaining that much. But anyways,
I'm sure some might in the world.
I do. When I make my arguments against Aang versus Korra, I'm like, Korra didn't leave the Avatar world for 100 years. Granted, Aang was 12. I understand. Korra's like 16. It's like, either way,
both immature ages,
right? It's like, what are we doing? We're just like picking and
splitting hairs for sure.
Splitting hairs, exactly.
I mean, does Korra ever get that connection back?
No.
Oh, it's permanently gone.
Permanently gone.
Yeah. Oh no.
But my argument has always been like, the past lives have never really had that big of an impact as much as people like to think in retrospective. Like, I rewatched the story tons of times. Avatar Roku and Kyoshi are really the only main ones that have an influence on Aang's life. Roku is like the exposition in season 1. He tells Aang about the plan. He tells Aang how much he fucked up. And Aang, you got to do X, Y, and Z to make up for my mistake. And then Kyoshi appears early in season 1 with the Kyoshi Island warriors.
Yeah.
Disappears for the rest of the series until the finale, where Aang talks to a lot of the past avatars. And what does he do, Nathan? Not listen to a single fucking one of them. Because they all say, you got to kill Roku. Or Ozai. You got to kill Ozai. You got to kill Ozai. You got to kill Ozai. Aang's like, well, shit. I don't want to do that. And guess what? He doesn't.
He literally unlocks a new way.
He lost a new way anyways. He's like, yeah, Kyoshi, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to kill Ozai. And he nearly dies by not killing Ozai. But then goes Avatar state and whips his ass and still doesn't kill him.
Is there a connection to what Aang did to Ozai that leads to what the antagonist does in Korra that can take away bending? Or is that a whole other?
That's a whole other thing. What Aang does to Ozai is like spiritual bending, which is like season 2 stuff as well. But the blood bending is what you're talking about. The taking away bending is an aspect of blood bending.
Oh, sure. That
was. Oh, sorry. That was that's we got a runner outside.
Yeah, because you spoiled.
The police are at my house. But yeah, I think you think you're halfway through season 1. I think that's like revealed in season 1, episode 6 or 7. It's like before the finale that gets revealed. Okay.
What's
Amon is the goat. I miss Amon. What a great character.
Do you feel because I guess you wouldn't have that answer at the end of Korra, but do you think maybe in this new era of the Avatar that maybe this Avatar will at least be able to reach Korra?
100%.
Starting a new
1,000%. 1,000%. There would be no. There's nothing that's saying that she can't connect to Korra. That would make a lot of sense. And given that Korra presumably now the rumor is because there's 7 havens, in our current timeline of our knowledge of the world, we have our Avatar continents, the Fire Nation, Water Nation, Earth Nation, whatever. Republic City and Korra kind of like was like a amalgamation of a lot of cities. 7 havens is supposed to be this post-apocalyptic thing, as I said in the synopsis, where Korra might have done something to split the earth. Let me go to what they say here. The 4 nations do not exist anymore. There was some unknown cataclysmic event that Korra will be forced to stop. She will, in turn, be forced to reshape the entire world from the original 4 nations to 7 new locations, countries, or havens, which is the subtitle for the series. And of course, this leads to, presumably, this is what kills Korra, maybe, and this leads to the reincarnation of the Earth Avatar, which is our main character or characters, because of the twins.
It's got to be a bummer heading into a new Avatar era every time when you've got so much emotional attachment, and then you're like, yeah, and now we're at the event where that person died. This character you got attached to, and now we're headed to the next era.
Yeah. It does suck, and like for me, I'm like when I read the synopsis that Korra is known as, or the word Avatar is known as humanity's destroyer, not savior. That's bad. People are like, man, and there's 2 things here. Korra haters love this. They're like, oh, I'm justified. I'm vindicated. Korra did hoe us. Korra fucked us over. And because she was always fucking us over in her seasons. Not true. Like people are primarily again looking at Korra season 2. Season 3 and 4, Korra was phenomenally well written. She gets taken in by the Red Lotus, no spoiler. And she wasn't headstrong. Like there's instances where she's not headstrong and she gets taken. Or in season 4, something happens to her. But I think Korra is just such a relatable, flawed, interesting character. And I will agree, season 2 is really not great writing for the first half. Not great. I don't really like it that much. But I think the back half of season 2 is pretty decent. And season 1 is a mixed bag for me. I love Amon, but some of the romance aspects, it's not great. But season 3 and 4 are so strong. And Korra is such a phenomenal character. I really love her so much. Flaws and all. And
losing connection to the other avatars sounds like such a compelling, like probably arguably the most compelling element that you could add to the lore. Just like, oh my god, this is like something that would like very much like stab you in the gut emotionally to lose and feel how Korra feels.
This is why I like talking to Nathan, because yes, because the scene is sad. Like the villain is like whipping Korra, or he's whipping Rava, the light entity, and as he does this, Avatar gone. Avatar gone, and Korra like can feel it. She's like, ah.
Oh my god!
And it's sad, but people
Yeah.
are usually just angry about it because they're like, oh, Korra put herself in this situation because she was manipulated.
The
I'm
way
just
you
like,
describe
we should be sad.
the way you describe like people freaking out about it, you would think
Like Korra did it herself. Yeah.
Korra accidentally did it. It's just like, oops.
Nope. She is being, attacked. It's like assaulted. Her and Rava are getting assaulted and attacked, and the villain's like, yeah, and like, buy Avatar, and it's like not her doing. She put herself in this situation, kind of, but she was just emotionally manipulated. And it's much more nuanced than people think. I don't think it's well written, but it's emotionally nuanced. I don't want to go into spoilers, but either way, it wasn't her doing. And I think we'll realize 1000% that Korra did everything she could to save the world. She sacrificed herself probably. And then our main character or the twins or both of the twins or one of the twins will realize like, hey, Korra did actually save the world. And maybe opinion about the Avatar can change. That's what storytelling's for. Like, people's opinions about the Avatar are always bad. How many times do people not like Avatar? Or, the whole first season was about like, do we trust the Avatar? Do we not trust the Avatar? Where have you been, Avatar? Like, that kind of stuff. Like, the opinions on avatars are always changing. Avatars are inherently flawed people. There's so many avatars die having not accomplished a lot in life, especially if you get into the books in the past. And it's just like, man, I really didn't do that well. And then the person could be like, well, that's for your next reincarnation to handle. Yeah. That's it. And then that's what I love about Avatar. It's a cycle. It's a tragic cycle at times, but it can be a good cycle as well. Even after Aang going into Korra, he didn't leave everything great. Like, Republic City has a lot of flaws with it. Not every Bender group likes each other. There's a lot of flaws in the world. It was not 100% peaceful. Korra has to pick up some of the pieces. Even Aang as a family member, like, he wasn't the best dad in the world. So in general, just a lot. I guess I didn't go into too big of a rant, but the people that love Korra are upset because they're like, oh, we have to defend Korra again. I'm like, or you could just ignore the haters. And then the haters are all like, wow, we were right. And they're just more annoying than ever. But I hope both groups give this show a chance. Because even the Korra lovers are like, oh, Mike and Brian, the creators, they just hate Korra. They keep giving all this bad shit to Korra. I'm like, they're just giving her struggles. And it's interesting to watch. It's not like Korra's like this depressed all the time character. She goes through a depression arc in season 3 and 4. But it's for good reason. She rises above it. She just, come on.
I mean, right on that they were able to give her like 2 more seasons, having such a tragic loss of all the avatars and like build herself up to be able to face whatever the final threat is through 2 seasons. I mean, hell, 1 more season than Aang got.
Right? And people forget, people were really down on Korra after season 2. It had a bad reception because of that incident, and the season as a whole was very not great. But season 3 and season 4, man, those were great times. It was just 2 great seasons that I think are on par with the best of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Probably even better at times. So yeah, Jalen and I already said we're going to rewatch the whole Legend of Korra and Last Airbender next year in the lead up to the series. Because right now it is rumored to release in 2026. Avatar Aang movie is still coming out January 2026 next year. Less than a year now. But according to some rumors on Reddit, it can be verified, but some people on Reddit are saying like that movie is having trouble, so it might not come out next January. It could be delayed to later in the year. But either way, we could be getting Avatar movie and this TV series next year, finally. And we could get some reveals at CinemaCon in April. So yeah, that's Avatar news. Let's end it here on. There's some DC stuff I want to go over. With the DC news, I can share the screen here. James Gunn was talking about some DC updates, and there's a whole thread because I can't remember a lot of this stuff here. I have 2 DC threads. I don't know which one to follow here. Let's do this one. Nope, not that one. Nope. Okay, we're doing this one. Sorry. I thought I bookmarked 2 threads. I just bookmarked 1. And let me share the screen. Bamboo.
Oh, what the fuck? There we go.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Cool. So DC thread. This is everything James Gunn and Peter Safran mentioned. Okay, up first, Peacemaker and Superman, things that are coming out this year. They're well into post-production for both series. Timeline's looking very good for both series. James Gunn is very excited for Peacemaker. And of course, everything is hinging on the success of Superman. Nothing much to say there, but they're coming out this year. If people forget, Peacemaker is canon, or season 1 is like mostly canon. I forget what he said. What was it again, Nathan?
Yeah. It's mostly canon, but some specific like lore referenced elements of the DCEU are not, I guess.
Yeah,
or at least like if they did happen, it would be of a different version of said character.
Yeah, the whole Justice League finale part, just pretend that didn't happen, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess whatever. They're also moving forward with Viola Davis, Amanda Waller, so whatever her experience and knowledge is I guess going to be shaken up a bit.
I think that's in this thread as well. I think that show's having issues or problems in production. But yeah, Superwoman tomorrow is halfway through film production, which is crazy. Greg Gillespie is directing. If people forget, he directed that one phenomenal Margot Robbie and Sebastian Stan movie. What was it called? The one ice skater biopic movie.
I, Tonya.
I, Tonya. I love I, Tonya. And Greg Gillespie directed that. He directed some other good stuff, but that's one I'm super, super excited for. The release date for next year is June 26th. I think it's like sandwiched between like the Odyssey and Spielberg's movie. I'm like, next summer is a bloodbath with Nolan, Spielberg, some animated movie. I think Toy Story 5 or something like that. Like, it's gonna be a bloodbath next summer. So I'm a little bit worried for Supergirl, but I think it'll be successul.
Yeah.
Lanterns, full steam ahead. It officially begun. This is official. Kyle Chandler and Pierre are officially coming, and we got finally a release date area early 2026. We knew it was coming next year, but we didn't know when. Early 2026. This is primarily, when they say this, is between January and April 2026.
I'll say March.
March seems fitting.
Get that St. Patrick's Day marketing with the green.
Nice, that'd be pretty cool. Also, if Daredevil comes out next March as well, season 2 of Daredevil, we could get Daredevil and Lanterns come on at the same time. Whew.
All right,
that'd be great. So James Gunn says no project will get greenlit until he and Safran are satisfied with the screenplay. We already know this. They're like, we're not moving forward unless we get a good script. We already know this.
I love it.
Alan Tudyk will not play Clayface in the feature film. It wasn't his primary role. He primarily plays Dr. Phosphorus. So if Dr. Phosphorus is in live action, that's Alan Tudyk.
Right.
He played Clayface. That doesn't need to be Alan Tudyk. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
It's like,
I don't know if it's in this thread, but there was a rumor that maybe Daniel Radcliffe is eyed for Clayface.
That was reported after this. So this came out the 24th. That was a Monday afternoon. Jeff Snyder tweeted last night, made it his article. If you're subscribed to his newsletter, Jeff did say like WB is eyeing Daniel Radcliffe. There's no talks yet, but they're looking at his direction. I think that'd be very fun. That'd be a good role for Radcliffe. I would agree with that. Clayface did have a director, I think, finally. Speaking of Clayface, the movie was written by the GOAT of horror right now, Haunting of Hill House. I'm blinking, Nathan. What's his name?
Mike Flanagan.
Mike Flanagan. I think it was written by Mike Flanagan, but it's now getting directed by come on. Directed by J.A. Bayona. Was it IT director? Or no.
Right.
No, it's the guy that did that one movie that was international, but then it had James McAvoy in it. Came out last year. What was his name? What was the movie?
Oh, See No Evil?
Yeah, I think James Watkins. Speak No Evil. I think James Watkins from Speak No Evil. I think he's in the Netflix or something. But right now, all we know is that Mike Flanagan officially wrote the script. I don't think the director is officially attached yet.
Okay. I heard Jay Bone about something.
Me too. I don't know. But yeah, right now, THR is just saying Mike Flanagan wrote the script, but he's unavailable to direct because of his commitment to a Carrie TV series and the reboot of Exorcist. Those will take priority over Clayface for Flanagan.
Cool.
But Clayface is they have a short like synopsis where it's a Hollywood horror story according to sources, where a B-list movie actor, injects himself with a substance to keep himself relevant, only to find out that he can reshape his face and form, becoming a walking piece of clay. This pretty much is right off the Batman the Animated Series episode, where the guy injects himself with that, puts some makeup on his face, but then turns into Clayface. That's like straight out of the animated series.
I saw people reading that. I remember that report coming out. It was like, take some sort of substance to turn into this. And a lot of people were like, so it's the substance? And I was like, y'all didn't watch the fucking substance, did you?
Right? Like, that's not what happened. So, yeah. That's very funny. But they're like, yeah, this is a male version of the substance. That was very funny. But also, it's crazy how the substance is becoming so, like, in our lexicon now.
It really is. I just rewatched it in theaters this past Saturday, and it is a wild fucking experience. And I'm elated that something like this is getting so much recognition in the award circuit.
Right? That's just so cool. I love that. Yeah. It was like the SAG Awards too. I was like, wow. But what?
Yeah. But to the point of the original animated series episode, that is a disturbing and haunting episode in and of itself.
That's a great episode. I remember rewatching that recently. I'm just like, oh, that's so good. Like, wah. Yeah. But that was really good. Speaking of something that we got a commentary, I would love to watch some episodes of those. That'd be really cool.
That'd be really great.
So yeah, a brief update on Batman Part 2 and Penguin. Matt Reeves has yet to turn in a full script. But we have read so far is incredibly encouraging. I think even Robert Pattinson was talking about how he was reading something of what Matt Reeves is telling him, and he's liking what he's reading. But yeah, nothing big yet.
I see the grand scope, Evan. You see,
yes,
Matt Reeves is waiting for the closer release date of Brave and the Bold to know where the continuity of the universe is, so that he can turn that in and make it a part of the canon.
Right.
I'm delusional.
I think James Gunn even talked about it, where he's like, I think he's again reaffirming that they are going to be separate. I think he reaffirmed that at this press conference.
Mistake. But okay.
But on the Penguin season 2, Safran mentioned there are a lot of moving pieces. Probably most important, we'll see what Colin wants to do. Speaking of Colin, somebody did ask him recently. He's doing press for SAG. He said he's conflicted. He said, I would hate to do it just because of a quote unquote success. Yeah. You have to go again, and for it to be diluted version of what people seem to feel it is. I'm in no rush. I have no deep desire to do it. I kind of understand where he's coming from. Whereas, like, it was a huge success, and to do it just because it was a success doesn't feel right. Yeah. It was billed as a limited series. He probably read it as like a limited series and moving into Batman Part 2, and that's it. But, Sophia is still alive. There's a lot of room for new potential there.
She's making connections with Selena Kyle.
Yeah, and that alone, I'm like, that better be in Batman Part 2 or something. Like, I need to see that. I need to see that desperately. Yeah. So yeah, I don't mind this. Like, I felt the same way watching Shogun, where Shogun is such an excellent series, and FX and Hulu moved so quickly to do Shogun season 2, even outside of the book. Like, they're moving past the book, and I'm just like, we'll see how that goes. But just because it was a success doesn't mean season 2 is going to be a success.
Is Shogun like an ongoing book series, or is it?
It was one book written like in the 1900s or something, or maybe even earlier.
Oh. Okay. I mean, I think that's okay if it's like not congruent with a story that's currently being written.
Yeah. So we'll see. But Batman What?
Sorry, is this an official logo or
No,
just
this is
fan
probably
made?
fan made. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Batman Brave and the Bold remains active development. Gunn and Safran reaffirmed that Matt Reeves' universe exists in its own timeline, and Pattinson will not be reprising his role for this film. Let's see here. There's a possibility the DCU version will show up before his debut. He says, I wouldn't rule anything out. He could show up in anything else or in something else, but the actor doesn't exist yet.
Mm.
What isn't mentioned in this post that I'm reading is James Gunn did mention he is a heavy writer of this movie now. He said he's not the main writer, but he is in like the writing. He's deep in the writing process of this movie. And once they get a good script, then they'll give it to Andy Muschietti, who is still the director as of right now. We'll see if that sticks. But I like that James Gunn is what?
I know a lot of people have qualms after The Flash, but I don't think Andy is a bad director, like from a visual standpoint. I mean, you got problems with writing all you want, but I don't think it's a bad director by any means.
Yeah, like if James Gunn writes it, I think I'm turning around on that too, Nathan, where Andy cooked for It. I don't love those movies, especially It Part 2, but like he has good sensibilities as a director. It's just the script for The Flash was a mess. But The Flash in general was a huge production. It kind of reminds me of like Madam Web and the Sony movies, where like, how much can you blame any of those Sony movies on the directors? Those feel like such committee like movies to me.
Yeah, and a lot of people obviously have issues with the VFX of The Flash, but if the effects were more polished, I genuinely think if you focused on like the camera work of the scenes and the compositions, it feels very like active, moving comic book adventure, and I think that worked in its highest forms when it was working.
I agree, man. I agree. So still, Andy wouldn't be my main favorite for a director, but like I'll be fine with it. James Gunn being deep, like as like the writer for this, like he directed Superman. Now he's helping write Batman: Brave and the Bold. I think that's smart. These are two movies that you have to nail. So I think Gunn is very. If he's not directing it, the biggest thing you can do is write it, make sure that it's a good script. So we'll have to wait and see. As of right now, what?
I think that would also mean like if both are big successes and they're both written by James, that if they ever decide to do any type of like world's finest team up between the two, James is probably going to write that as well.
And direct it. I could see him directing that one too.
I'm sure he would want to be like, oh my god, yes, I can have the two biggest names be buddies on screen. Let's go.
Like, come on, exactly. What was I gonna say? As of right now, Brave and the Bold still has a story of like Batman and Damian. That was also reaffirmed as well. Damian and the Robin. Dynamic duo was talked about. It was revealed last year with a new like not photorealistic, but like the whole puppetry animation aspect. We talked about that last year. That is still being developed for like 2027, I think. Animated feature film with Dick Grayson and Jason Todd in their early days as Robin. They say it provides a kind of perfect on-ramp for family audiences into the world of Gotham, because Gotham is really for families.
Now they're not both Robin, right? Like Dick is going to be Nightwing, probably.
That's what I'm assuming.
And to that point, I don't think Jason's going to be like an older, like Red Hood era. I think he'll just be Robin.
And do you think this is related to the DCU? Is this going to be a DCU thing or just like an animated spin-off, one-off kind of thing? I don't know.
It very well might be. I think there's a high chance it will be DCU. If we're going full-blown Bat family in Brave and the Bold, I think this actually will like hail as a prequel to those characters when we get to them, and I think this will like be more like a stepping stone origin to them for when we catch them in the present time, and because they also said a lot of their animated stuff is meant to be canon as well.
Yeah, that's true. We'll get to some of the animation products coming up soon that aren't canon.
Yeah.
But Blue Beetle, I think this will be canon as well. Safran expects the executive producers Angel Manuel Soto, who directed the live action movie, and Gareth to present the project for a possible green light pretty soon. Miguel Puga is directing. Kristen Martinez will be writing, and this is a new animated series.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. Same actor coming back to voice.
I hope is that confirmed. I hope so, right? Yeah, like
yeah, that's confirmed. I think he himself has spoken on it.
yeah. So Zolo from Cobra Kai and from the live action Blue Beetle movie. Yeah, he
Yeah,
should be coming back, which is
yeah,
awesome. I like
I love that. I hope that just like reaffirms. 'Cause I think he even said there may be some reference to the film, maybe in aspects. So I hope that just like solidifies like that film is a part of it because I really enjoyed Blue Beetle a lot.
Me too. We had a lot of fun with it. Yeah, people should go back and find our Blue Beetle review because that movie is really fun and heartwarming.
For so long, people have just been, like the DCU starting with Superman. I've been over here like it's already begun.
Blue Beetle. If I'm an actor, if I'm like Zolo and I'm like, man, we can't get a sequel to our movie, but we get an animated series, I'm like, fuck yes.
I'll take it.
I'll take that because like I get paid to do like 8 to 12 episodes of an animated series that could possibly run for multiple seasons.
Yeah, you get to build up the characters through longer time spent with them.
Yeah, why not?
Right on, man. Now, granted, I do love them in live action. I love like the whole cast that they had with this family. But to that point, we could always bring them back in like some Justice League-esque angle of Blue Beetle being showcased in live action.
Agreed. Yeah, that's really cool. This is big, dude. This is a brand new one here. My Adventures with Green Lantern. This will not be canon to the DCU. This is connected to the My Adventures with Superman group.
Evan, I did it was funny. I read this and I was like, cool. As one of like the things that's happening. And then it popped up on my timeline again from a different tweet. And then like I did a double take when I realized it says My Adventures with at the top. I was like, oh wait. The goat's getting some friends. Let's go.
This is so cool to me. Like I'm with you, Nathan. I was like, oh, Jessica Cruz. This is related to like how the Lantern live action is doing like Aaron Pierre and the other guy, Hal Jordan. Like that gets Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, while this animated one talks about Jessica Cruz, and they're all related, but they're not. Like this is totally different. But I like it because I like the My Adventures universe. I don't know what they're calling it now. The MAU, My Adventures universe. But I like this. It says, following high school student Jessica Cruz, who has her life upended when a power ring falls from the sky and chooses Cruz to be its champion. Things get even worse when more debris from the Lantern's ancient space war arrives, along with their alien foes. Jake Wyatt, executive producing. Stephanie Gonzaga is co-executive producer. I love this a lot. I am not familiar with Jessica Cruz, but I remember when she was first created, she has a lot of fan hype around her, and I can't wait to finally like get introduced to who she is.
Yeah, totally, man. I'm excited as well. Every time I get a new Green Lantern, I'm always intrigued to see how they're rocking about. But yeah, I love the art style and the animation of My Adventures with Superman. I love the development there, so I have nothing but high hopes for this.
Me too, man. And you can tell DC has a surprising love for lanterns. Like we're getting the Lantern to HBO show, which is like this gritty show with Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart and probably some other lanterns. This has Jessica Cruz. The Superman movie has what's his name?
Guy Gardner.
So like that's a lot of lanterns in the DC universe. Right?
After such a drought with any lantern, anything on screen, we are finally in the pure green light of this superhero.
That's crazy. You're right, man. DC Superpowers taking place at the Alliance School for Heroes and focuses on new students: Lightning, Flash, Plastic Man, Aqua Girl, Green Lantern, and Terra. I like Terra. Who level up their powers under the supervision of Principal Martian Manhunter in the hopes of one day graduating and becoming the next generation of Earth's defenders. Matt Bean's executive producing. Michael Chang is supervising producer.
Right on.
What do you think about this? This sounds like a kids show, right? Is this kids oriented or just for everybody? What do you think?
I don't know. It could be for everybody. I mean, it's not the My Adventures tag, but maybe. Is Lightning like Black Lightning or?
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
And they're
That's a
just
good
like, let's
guess.
not. Or they were like, let's not say.
Featuring Black Lightning. I don't know.
White Flash and
So yeah, Lightning, Flash, Plastic Man, Aqua Girl, Green Lantern, and Terra. Yeah, for me, it just seems like a kind of like a young adult kind of show. I'm not sure how. I gotta see what it looks like.
it's a bit of a. It really does feel like a mixed bag of like pull out a random character ensemble. Uh, is this? Yeah, granted, we don't know which Green Lantern this is going to be either,
Yeah, not at all.
and they're all young.
Yeah,
So
they
that's
seem. I'm getting a young vibe, obviously because they're in school. But yeah,
yeah.
so
Yeah. So this may end up being something pretty special, though. I'm looking forward to it.
and then we have Starfire. No My Adventures tag, so this could be related to the DC universe.
Yeah,
Um,
which could be interesting because I think it might be in this thread, but I think it was confirmed that they're working on the Teen Titans era film.
Yep, you're correct. Yeah, Teen Titans is officially happening. The Supergirl writer is writing Teen Titans.
Yeah,
But we have Starfire here. Serves as an origin story that follows her adventures after she uses an ancient spaceship she discovers on her home planet Tamaran, to escape and explore the stars. Along the way, she will meet space biker Crush, plant loving Fern, and the magical princess Amethyst of Gem World. Together, they will uncover the deepest reaches of the DC universe, save space dolphins, surf tentacolored nebulas, and boldly soar into the unknown. This show sounds wild.
this
Um,
sounds great. It
yeah.
gives me like a vibe. If they do this, if this is the same Starfire we're going to get in the Titans project, it gives me vibes of like the kickoff of Adventures of Buzz Lightyear Star Command, like starting off with a little Toy Story interlude before going into like
Oh,
Buzz's adventures. But this like being a thing that like actually happened to Starfire.
yeah. And this is really cool. I like Starfire. I only know her really from the Teen Titans show, and I'm excited to explore more of her, especially this whole supernatural, like Guardian to the Galaxy esque run here, where it's just like all this
Yeah.
space adventure.
Is is this not also kind of what Kara's going through right now in her film?
It sounds very much like what Supergirl goes through in Women of Tomorrow, but maybe
And
less
and you
chaotic. I'm
said
not
and you said someone from Supergirl's working on the Titans project.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
I can see how this is all interweaving quite nicely.
It's all connected. Sergeant Rock is a film that was like attached to what's his name, Luca Guadagnino.
Mm,
It has not been officially announced, and David Craig was never really attached to Star. That's what they claim. Some
mhm,
insiders say like that's bullcrap. After
mhm.
the fact, they say we never met with Daniel. He was just an idea. So
Well, I could also see that getting lost in the sauce of like, yeah, we threw around that idea of getting Daniel, and then people ran like they've met with Daniel.
yeah, exactly. I've heard other rumors now that like Jeremy Allen White could be involved with this role as well now.
Rhoda the Hutt
Um,
himself.
yeah, exactly. That's his starring role. Um, so yeah, that's it for Sergeant Rock. Teen Titans, like you said.
Mm.
And yeah, that's her name, Anna Nogueira. She is the writer of Supergirl, and she's really impassioned about it and turned over an amazing script. She's fiddling with it now, but it's definitely not a finished script. And
Mm.
it's basically described as a group of young superheroes, including Nightwing, Cyborg, and the aforementioned Starfire. So yeah, it's the same Starfire from her show.
Right on.
Um, the photo
Um,
gives us Cyborg, Starfire, Nightwing, Wonder Girl, Flash, and Raven.
yeah, and Beast Boy.
And Beast Boy, yeah.
That's always been like my favorite thing of like the Titans run is the relationship between Raven and Beast Boy. So I'm hoping as long as we can have that as an emotional core, we're good.
I never read that run where they were like a couple and stuff. I would really like that as well.
Yeah, there's a great new
Um,
run. Like this artist, I follow the artist. Like his art for the Titans is like so like them like living casually and just being friends around each other. And some of the best art you'll ever fucking see for them. It's
I
so
keep
good.
seeing that art. I'm like, I gotta read these stories because the art is so good. You're so right.
Yeah.
Um, and then Deathstroke and Bane is still in the works. And this is one I still feel like it just feels very weird to me,
Mm.
but we'll see what happens. It's written by Matthew Orton.
Yeah.
And yeah, he says this is a weird quote. It's something kind of like a Deathstroke and Bane story.
What?
Yeah.
This is
Anyway,
this is this seeing projects like this gives me the vibes of when Spider-Man was getting introduced in the MCU and it was like, we're skipping the origin. We're just
yeah, we're just skipping it.
rolling right in. And it's like we're skipping the start of Batman and setting up his relationship with villains. They're already here. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah. Look at I just can't imagine going to the theater. Like, yeah, one ticket to see Deathstroke and Bane, please. It just feels weird.
It almost is like we can't be accused of catching up if we're already at the finish line.
Yeah. It just screams like Craven to me. Like it
It's
feels so like I don't know.
yeah. But I guess like in fairness, they do have access to actually be able to use
Yeah.
and well, I guess apparently so did Sony. They just chose not to. But here, I genuinely believe they're gonna be in better hands to like be able to reference whoever they need to in full context, full development, and again the fact that they're greenlighting full set scripts without just running headfirst is a lot better.
I agree. James Gunn comments how Paradise Lost remains in active development. Some of the insiders said this is in response to them questioning why there isn't anything Wonder Woman related still for DC. And then he responded with, well, Paradise Lost remains in active development. And yeah, still no, like, how are we getting Deathstroke and Bane, all this kind of craziness, but still nothing from
Mm-hmm.
Wonder Woman at all?
That's
Really?
very odd, especially in this world where the game just got canceled as well.
Which is so sad. Yeah, exactly.
Very sad.
So
Do we? I forget. Is Paradise Lost a show? Right?
it's a TV series. Yeah, like a live
Yeah.
action TV series.
And is it? I forget. Is it actually the era with Diana, or is it like before?
Diana's mom. Yeah,
All
before
right.
Diana. So like her mom and all the kind of like the origins of the mascara, basically.
Do you think they're just trying to like take time from Gal, or I don't
I
know?
don't think so. I don't think that's necessary.
Do you
We
think they're
all know
gonna
Gal.
just roll with Wonder Girl in Titans or something? Whereas
Maybe.
like Diana's already established. I don't know.
But like just give us a Wonder Woman animated TV series then.
Sure.
I don't know. Yeah, it's weird to me. But now the next couple ones are ones that they're having trouble with. First one up is Booster Gold, which moves forward, but a particular showrunner said like they had interest, but then ultimately moved on. So this is one I don't think is going to be happening anytime soon. Booster Gold. So yeah, it's active development, but it's like slow development in my opinion. Other two things, Swamp Thing is stuck in limbo. James Gunn focused on his biopic, Complete Unknown, and we know now he's doing Star Wars.
Yeah, that sounds like Star Wars is coming first.
Star Wars is definitely coming first for James Mangold there. I think there might be another movie too, I don't know. But I think, yeah, Star Wars is definitely coming first before Swamp Thing. And Waller's also going down a bumpy road, struggling to land the right script. So Booster Gold, Swamp Thing, Waller, those are things they talked about, but can't really get. And also Authority, also something they talked about. It's been moved to the back burner now. He talked about this at the initial slate, but he says here it's a very big movie. And let's see here. He just said, yeah, the script has a harder time coming along. The film hasn't been as much of a priority because it has been subsumed by everything from Brave and the Bold to Paradise Lost. So, yeah, back burner for the Authority.
Yeah, fair enough. We do know
and then
that
there's like a 6-year plan. Talk about like.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we do know that a few of them are going to be popping up in Superman. So that I imagine they're gonna like wait to see like not only how like those couple of characters are received, I guess, but also with how the feel overall, I think of at least the first couple of films, Superman especially, is to people, and just like seeing, obviously still tell core stories, but see like, all right, what's working with everybody, what isn't, how can we mold the best like vibe of this type of film to work with everybody, I guess, from a studio.
And then lastly, he said their goal at the end of this is to produce 7 projects a year, 2 live action films, 1 animated film, 2 live action shows, 2 animated shows. And there's a plan set for the next 6 years. And some of these culminating in like an Avengers style amalgamation film. So yeah, that's a very big, ambitious idea. Two films, I get, that makes sense. Sure. 1 animated film, sure.
Right on.
But 2 live action shows on top of that, I'm like, okay, it might be a bit much here.
Yeah.
And then 2 animated series on top of that too. It's like, wow.
Yeah, and granted, is that animated DCU animated shows, or is that like all My Adventures and such?
Probably My Adventures included.
Yeah. Which that's plenty fine. However, you got to be careful with this, because in the functionality of majority of the stuff being canon, if you get to those like crossover level things, are we gonna have everyone on the page of everybody as journey? I imagine it will probably be a thing of just like the main threat is going to be introduced in said film, whatever, and you'll bring these characters together. They'll function off of each other. If you have deeper knowledge of them, it'll be fine. That'd be great for your enhancement, but if you don't know them, you'll be plenty fine watching the film as is.
Exactly. I'm with you. And I trust James. At the end of the day, again, I just trust James Gunn to nail this. So it might be ambitious, but I think he knows what he's up to. I think he's good here. Before we leave, Nathan, do you have any last-minute predictions for the Oscars? Anything you want to win? Anything you think will win?
I'm sitting here, man. I'm still saying Best Picture is going to be Conclave.
You're with Conclave, yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm with Anora, but Conclave could easily win. Because right now I have
separate. It's going to be like an out of left field one.
Dune Part 2. Oh shit!
Oh my god! It's I'm Still Here, which I think is going to obviously take the international.
You think so?
Oh, what? I haven't seen Seed of a Sacred Fig, but that trailer looked pretty damn compelling. That said, I just watched I'm Still Here for the first time.
You've seen more Oscar movies than I have officially. I still have not watched I'm Still Here or Nickel Boys yet.
Yeah, I got to see those both over Saturday. Both quite interesting. I think those two. I'm currently like redoing a ranking of like all the Oscar films together, and those out of the 5 I watched, those are on my lower 2. Still good, but yeah, I'm still like rocking Substance, Sonora, and Conclave.
Yeah, Conclave. I think I have Conclave winning Best Editing because it won at BAFTA for editing, and usually that doesn't miss. Best Editing, Best Adapted Screenplay, and editing and screenplay. And editing and screenplay can just go along with picture. Because I have Anora winning screenplay and director and picture, and hopefully actress. I'm still sticking with Mikey Madison for actress, even though Demi Moore has a very high chance. I won't be surprised if Demi Moore wins. I don't know what to do for my bet.
There's a high chance that I copy 85% of your answers.
Yeah, and then just switch at the because like last year I won. I've been winning the last 3 years in a row. At our
my God.
And last year I won by 1 category, and that was Best Actress, where I picked Emma Stone. A lot of people switched over to woman from Scorsese movie. I'm blanking on her name. The Native American actress, Lily Gladstone. Yes. Everybody had Lily Gladstone winning, but I was like, I think it's Emma Stone. And then she won, among other things I guessed on.
Right.
But yeah, and then is Wild Robot going to lose to Flow? That could be a thing happening.
Maybe. It's not to see that. It's on Max.
I think it's on Max now, yeah. So no excuses.
So in the next couple of days, I need to watch Amelia Perez just to finalize my viewership.
Just to say you watched it, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what you think, man.
it becomes my number one.
Oh gosh.
I don't think so. If I'm gonna pick a
no,
musical, I'm picking Wicked.
yeah, Wicked is just way better in my opinion. But yeah, so I think Anora for Best Picture, I would love that so much. It would be a very unique Best Picture winner, but I also really like Conclave. Not as much as Anora or the other nominees. I think I'll go like Dune, Anora, Substance, then Conclave. For me, for like top 4. But yeah, this is very exciting. Tune in on Sunday, guys, because I'll be at Where Heartbreak Feels Good. I think Nathan, you'll be appearing too, watching the Oscars live with us on Sunday.
Yes. I forgot. Are you guys doing the thing on Friday? You said
no. We switched it over. The top 10 rankings is going to be next week or something. They have to figure out the schedule. But Friday we're doing the predictions, our last minute full predictions for each category.
Cool.
So yeah, if people are still listening, like follow my Twitter for Friday. I'm gonna be delivering my final predictions, locking everything in.
Best actor though.
Yeah, what do you think, man?
I mean, in my heart, I want it to go to Coleman.
Me too.
I really do. I don't think it will though, unfortunately. I don't think it's going to Ralph Fiennes, even though I love him. I'll watch him in literally anything. You know this of me.
28 years later.
Taco Tuesday. But and hell, a great performance, but I don't think it's the best performance, especially compared to Coleman. But it's probably
very subtle,
for sure. But I think it's probably going to go to Adrian Brody.
I hope so, man. Adrian, that opening scene of Brutalist is so good. It's just so good.
I'm really gonna properly not that I didn't before, but I'm gonna really hone in on all of his little things he's putting into the performance when I go watch the Brutalist again this weekend.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're going for. I thought you already watched all the movies already, but the part 2 is this weekend, is what you're saying.
Yeah, technically, I almost have. The only movie I'm gonna be watching Saturday I haven't seen is Complete Unknown.
Okay. Yeah, I'm excited to see what you think of Timmy.
Yeah. I gotta get back to back Timmy. I'm gonna get Complete Unknown and Dune Part 2 to cap it off.
Bingo. That's cool. But yeah, I think Adrian got this. I think Timmy won at SAG, that made sense. It was like a popularity thing going on there. But I think Adrian really, really has it in there. And I'm going for Mikey mainly because Mikey Madison is in the Best Picture front runner. She's the star of the movie. Demi Moore is great, but she's two-handing it with Margaret Qualley. And some people are a bit divisive on Substance. You either love it or you think it really is creepy and weird and disgusting.
Yeah. They're not. They can't match our free Kevin.
They can't. But part of me is just but the narrative for Demi is so strong. Hollywood loves Demi Moore. So
yeah,
I just don't know.
Who's the director lineup again?
Coralie Farge for The Substance. What's the name? Jacques Audiard for Emilia Perez. James Mangold for Complete Unknown. Sean Baker for Anora. And the Brutalist director, Corbet.
Well, you know me. I would love for it to go to Substance, but I think this is gonna. I think this is gonna be between Anora and Brutalist.
Yep. What do you think? Because Anora won just the Director's Guild Award, just one award, won the DGA, but Corbet won Golden Globe, and he won at BAFTA, and his movie is more like a technical marvel compared to Anora. But Anora won the DGA, which usually doesn't get which usually gets their way for the Oscars.
If I were to guess, that fucking upside down shot of the Statue of Liberty alone is probably gonna win the director. But also I'm kind of I'm probably delusional, but my brain's trying to configure if the Brutalist doesn't win Best Picture, but it's probably going to take a significant award if not already with Best Actor, it's probably going to get Director.
That they can spread the love for sure. Whereas the Brutalist I think is getting score because the score is just oh my god,
that was a good score. Yeah,
so good score, cinematography, actor. Those are 3 locks. I think those are 3 locks: score, cinematography, actor.
Is The Substance isn't nominated for score? Is it?
No, but it should, shouldn't it?
It's a really good score.
It's a really good score. The substance is baffling to me because they got best director, best actress, best screenplay, but they didn't nominate it in a lot of text besides makeup, and it's winning makeup. But
The
I'm
editing of the substance is phenomenal.
It should have got editing. It should have got sound. Seeing that crunch in the unsettling sound, editing, sound, score. Like I would have nominated substance all down the line. Like even production design, that hallway shot.
It is a very vibrant. I think it's the most vibrant in color palette that I've seen from everything.
I agree, man. I think I would have nominated that shit down the line. Hell, costume design too. I don't give a fuck. Like, I would have nominated substance everywhere. So yeah, I'm upset about that. Like, you guys like the substance, but why didn't you nominate it everywhere like you did for Emilia Perez?
It wasn't VFX, right? Because most of the computer effects stuff get nominated.
I think it was on the short list though. I was surprised, but yeah,
but I guess a lot of it would go into makeup and stuff because a lot of practical effects were in it. So like, with a lot of those details, I think if it's nominated for me, I think it's a shoe-in for makeup personally.
1,000. There's no other option. I think the second place would be like Wicked, maybe, I guess, but like, makeup and hair, or maybe Nosferatu. But yeah,
Nosferatu quite good. I think it's Nosferatu. Does they have costume?
I think Nosferatu has costumes, makeup, and cinematography are his 3 nominations.
I think that could probably get costume and cinematography. I think makeup and hairstyling makes more sense for Wicked for the hairstyling, but like a lot of the makeup and stuff, not even just like the final form makeup, but like a lot of just like the physical transformation that Demi Moore goes through in different stages. I think that locks it.
Makeup is done deal. But for the Wicked, the only 2 things I have Wicked winning are costumes and what's it called? Costumes. What's the other one? Production design.
It's probably gonna get those. And then
even though I think Nosferatu should get production design, but I think most people are gonna go for Wicked. I think Nosferatu is just more appealing to me, but I think they'll give Wicked costumes and production design, and that'll be it.
I really am stunned that Nosferatu didn't get more noms.
I think if it came out a little bit earlier, it would have. But I think probably people didn't have a chance to see it over Christmas break.
I forget the actress's name in I'm Still Here because she's nominated, right?
Fernanda Torres. People really want her to win.
She definitely gave a great performance for sure. I respect the hell out of her performance for sure. However, man, Lily Rose's performance in Nosferatu is really committed and really compelling.
I would have loved to see her nominated for sure. I put Lily over Carla Sofia Gascon from Emilia Perez for sure.
Right. I haven't seen, but from everything I've heard, everything's above Emilia Perez.
When you watch it, you're like, oh, she's good, but I don't think she's great.
Yeah.
I think Zoe's better in the movie. But yeah, I gotta go. But this is great. Again, we'll be here. We'll be on not our channel, but a different channel on Sunday. Follow our Twitters to see where we go for Sunday. It's called Where Heartbreak Feels Good. But yeah, this was fun. Talked about a lot of news: Avatar, DC, Marvel with Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Invincible. A big comic book episode today. So yeah. Follow me on Twitter, Harris EV9, talking all things movie, TV, everything in between.
Right on, man. You follow me, Time Blazer, making a show called Time Blazer with co-star and creative consultant Evan Harris.
Playing Ben in Time Blazer, which is also going to be one of the most influential comic book-esque stories of all time. Time Blazer.
My adventures with Time Blazer.
Hell yeah. Same universe as Superman. Who will win? Time Blazer versus Superman.
Prep time? I'm just kidding. I don't know, probably Superman. I mean, granted, time is a very big thing. Probably. Maybe I can. But yeah, also follow me on Nathan Ross. I never plug that, but that's my actual main that I'm very active on. And again, if you want to see where me and Evan end up at on the Heartbreak, by all means, check it out. So that being said, if you guys enjoy this, make sure you like button, subscribe, not rate, ring the bell so you don't miss updates on all things film and TV. And that being said, hope you have a great day and catch you guys next time.
Bye-bye.